everyone. Welcome to the Wolves of Water, which is a brand new D&D 5e show right here on Brad Woto. I have a wonderful new cast full of strangers, actually. Nobody's been here before, not even Tiger. This is the first time you've been on my channel, isn't it, Tiger Writer?
Oh my gosh, everybody looks so sick.
What, on the thing?
I haven't seen any of the artwork yet.
Oh, this isn't the artwork. This is stolen from Pathfinder at the moment until Patrick does the stuff. Is that good enough for everyone?
There goes my excitement.
Yeah. I have a moving overlay though, which is something I've never done before. That you'll see in a minute. There's some like mist that moves across the screen.
Looks good.
I see it's really pretty.
There's like a claw that moves along. I figured if it was going to be audio based, that there should be some vague, interesting thing happening on screen, even though we're not there. How is everyone doing, players? How is everyone in chat doing, chatters? You guys okay? Pony, Kiwo, Kitty?
I'm so scared.
No.
I'm not.
What is everyone's like fear rating right now out of 10?
11.
I'm scared everybody's gonna hate me.
I'm 6.
You only have to worry about Pony hating you. He hates him.
No, I'm very excited. This is so much fun.
You're
He's pretty. I've seen him in real life. It's true.
super hyped. Yeah. He is pretty. It's insane, but he's Swedish, so.
But I can't hear what you're saying. Let's play some games.
Okay, so my nervous rating is about 8 because I'm not used to DMing things without hiding behind excessive amounts of visuals like the Wizard of Oz dude does. But yeah, allow me to monologue a moment. It's episode 1, so there'll probably be a lot of sort of initial DM monologues, and I apologize for that, players and people listening who don't care about me. But my name is Brad Woter, and this is episode 1 of The Wolves of Water, not to be confused with the Biffy Clyro track, which is The Wolves of Winter, or George R.R. Martin's new book that will be out soon, The Winds of Winter. This is The Wolves of Water, but it does have the same hashtag, like initialism. So we'll ride that when it happens. Yeah, just in case anyone was expecting anything weird like cams and stuff, there isn't any. There's not going to be a lot of heavy visuals going on. It's supposed to be more of a podcast sort of feel, although it'll probably work out more like an audiobook if we all do our jobs right. And we'll be adjusting the layout, Tiger, as the weeks change and go on with like commissioned artwork that we've got in our way from a very special artiste. But for now, this is just what you get. So sit back and listen while you doodle or cook or study or work or whatever it is that you people do with your time. So you don't really need to be looking at the screen. There is dice rolls that'll be changing and stuff as we like roll things. I'll roll a random dice. There we go, a d20, a 6. So that'll change as we go along. But you guys, if you can try and remember, just like maybe say the number out loud that you roll. Again, it's the first one in the column. Just for anyone that might be listening instead of watching the screen or anything like that. I think it'd be nice if we can try and remember to say rolls out loud. I'm going to be doing my best as well, but I'll probably forget. Yeah, so that's like my initial blurb just to set you guys up, and a little bit about what we're actually doing, because I guess quite a few people here are sort of maybe even new to like D&D in general. If you don't know what it is, you'll work it out soon enough, but we're basically going to be playing a sort of a tabletop RP based, which is role play based game. Everybody here is like an RP expert, except me. Oops. So hopefully you guys will kill it. I think you will. I don't care how nervous you are, Kiwo. I reckon you're gonna own this, especially since your character's name is Caval Ray for no reason. We'll say no reason. No reason.
Fan service.
Fan service.
For the puns.
For the puns. Yeah. So this is The Wolves of Water. This is basically, and I don't think even you players know this actually, but this is the first chapter in a set of adventure-based stories that I plan to tell using the power of D&D, like role play and combined minds of like myself and the wonderful cast. So basically, this chapter will run and last as long as it runs and lasts. should the group, you guys, complete my intended like main quest storyline kind of thing, then we'll move on to the next storyline, but we'll stay with the same group in the same world, and they'll continue on to like another adventure kind of thing. So it would essentially be this is essentially chapter 1 episode 1. And if you guys are ready, should we just dive in? You ready to begin?
Boy,
Hey.
Anybody needs a nervous poop?
I've always got a nervous shit.
All right, we're just going to quickly go to a break while everyone goes for a quick nervous poop. and then when we return,
Great, see you guys in.
yeah, we're like,
2.5
See you next
hours.
Wednesday.
we'll see you next Wednesday after everyone has
All the shit.
has excreted a huge amount.
I'm impressed.
No, let's begin. Let's jump in. So, yeah, this is a homebrew sort of story, a homebrew campaign that I have made up, but it is set in the Forgotten Realms world, of which I don't know a heck of a lot about, but we'll get there. Firstly, the very first thing that's going to happen here is we're going to have a little moment where each of the players has a dream. Each of your characters, Cavill Ray, Leo Stringard, Maina Cotton, and Damien Darksparrow, you have a recurring dream. What you see is a dark, snow-covered forest under a full moon. Contrary to what you can hear, there's sort of no real wind, no rain, no falling snow. It's clear and it's silent, and from out of the gloom, a giant white wolf, maybe 20 foot tall, possibly higher, slowly approaches you through the trees. The forest is deathly silent, aside from the heavy padded footfalls of the wolf's paws crunching quietly onto thick snow, and you feel a great calmness upon you. Though the wolf is huge and mighty, you're not afraid necessarily of him. Upon his considerable forehead, there's a lightly glowing sort of white-blue symbol. It's kind of a triangular thing. There's some lines coming off to the side, a couple of dots on it. But as you're kind of trying to memorize it, trying to look at it, the wolf opens its jaws, not as if to attack, but you get the feeling the wolf is about to communicate, to speak. And then the dream quickly fades, and you awaken each time at this point, the breath taken from your lungs briefly, and then you go on with your day. You've been having this dream, each of you, even though you don't know each other, for maybe a week, maybe two, leading up to the beginning of this campaign. And that is the only thing I have to begin with. And then we find ourselves at the true beginning. We're awake. Each of us is awake. And we're going to be starting out in a port city, the city of Luskan, on the Sword Coast. Let's see who we have. Tiger, your character is not with these three.
Mm-hmm.
The other three, which is true to life, since the other three are a little gang in real life, and Tiger is the interloper. We'll start off actually with all the noobs, all the D&D noobs. Kitty's character, Kiwo's character, and Pony's character. None of you are from this town, right? You had the option to start wherever you wanted in the world, basically. So it is completely possible that you're from this town. So each of you is newly arrived in this town. We'll say this morning. Let's say this morning. You're heading to meet a gentleman known only as Peanut. He's supposedly an informant for one of the captains of this town, which is something I'll get to in a second. And you've been summoned here sort of by the promise of a high-value quest. Each of you is basically an adventurer. For whatever reason, one of your... And probably... Well, no, actually, one of you's a bard. So one of your main sources of income will actually be taking up these sorts of jobs, these odd jobs. They're not necessarily like mercenaries, because it could be a kind of Indiana Jones thing, where you go into a random cave and find a chalice or whatever it is that he has to find. So you generally will take on these jobs. It's a similar situation is in like MMOs when you just find a quest board and rip a quest off of the thing. There will have been a high-paying job here, and you were like, "Hell yeah, I'll take the job." So you guys headed here, and it's today that you were supposed to meet this gentleman. So you've all shown up, kind of thing, at the same sort of time. You're heading to a place called Rat Alley, and pretty much as you arrive to the area where Rat Alley is, the three of you will see each other, possibly meet each other at the corner. You're clearly all heading down this sort of alleyway. So before I jump into any real background on the city of Luskan and things like that, I think I would like to hear a little bit from each of you so that we can get an idea of who we see. We'll start with the least nervous, Pony. You're playing a character called Leo Stringard. The other two characters are stood before you, but who do they see? Who are they looking at in Leo?
They're looking at a not very tall, but more than average, well-built, handsome man with a good jawline.
That's all that matters.
With like long brown hair and like a tail, and smirking. Look very relaxed and like think like Gaston from like Beauty and the Beast, like very, and it's kind of the same dressing as well. Has a lute on his back. He doesn't look nervous. He looks like he's owning the place in a way. Very confident man.
Yeah, a pretty confident, attractive-looking man. I presume you've got a lute on your body somewhere.
Yes,
As
on the
in-
back hanging. No, at the.
As in the guitar-looking thing, not a bag of loot from Diablo or something.
Yeah.
Um,
That sounds strangely like a guitar. Yeah.
yeah, it's
definitely.
that's my sort of London accent coming through. Cool, so we've got Gaston, and that's all I'm going to imagine him as forever.
Yeah, you can do that. It's pretty much what it is.
I just want to start singing a Gaston song now.
Yeah, Gaston. All right, so stood across from Leo, almost called him Gaston, is we'll go to our little halfling. We have a little halfling-looking character in Kitty's character. Who do we see in Maina? Is it Maina, or am I pronouncing that wrong?
It's Maina. Yeah,
Nice.
Maina. All right, so she's very, very short. She's like 2'8", and she's mostly shrouded under her cloak, very kind of like sunken back almost into the shadows, not very noticeable. But she has very soft features. She's not particularly beautiful or outstanding in any way. She's very just kind of plain, but she has bright red hair, and that's probably the only thing that really stands out about her. And I mean, for the most part, that's really about it right now. for her.
Cool.
She's
So,
very,
roguish,
yes,
but small, very small.
very, very small.
in stature as a halfling. A halfling, if anybody is confused, is basically a hobbit. Copyright. So, so I guess across from Gaston and Maina, there is presumably and possibly the biggest looking person here at the moment, in terms of strength, stature, and armor. Kiwo, any idea who we see in Cavalry?
Caval. Her name is Caval.
Caval. Sorry.
Yes,
I'll
you've
get
got
there.
to say it right.
Caval.
Towering woman, big shoulders, armor from the neck down, huge gauntlets on her hands, and a resting bitch face.
Nice. Yeah. It sounds like my first wife. Cool. So we have like a huge. Well, no, I guess not huge, but like, I guess maybe like
She's a tall
Brienne-ish.
woman.
Brienne-ish
Brienne of
looking,
Tarth, yeah.
Yeah, woman. The most heavily armed of the three people here. I think a great sword on her back, or maybe on a hip, if she's able.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the sword. Sorry.
It's okay.
Yes, great sword on her back. I'm sorry.
You don't have to describe. I was just adding to your description.
Thank you.
I just realised because we were talking about it beforehand, I wouldn't have even mentioned it. I would have forgotten as well. All right, nice. So, give me 1 second. What we have is these three people. They probably converge on the end of the alleyway around the same time. And Tiger, we'll get to your character in a bit, because the thing with your character is he's been in the town just a little bit longer than everyone else. Whereas these guys will have arrived maybe this morning. If any of you arrived last night, then we'll say you stayed at like the inn. That comes with its own set of things, so we can kind of get to that. We'll just see how it plays out. For everybody in chat, for everybody playing as well, and even for me, because I don't know the world of the Forgotten Realms too well, I'm going to give everyone a little bit of background on the city you're in. It's Luskan. Anybody watching on the stream, there is a map there. That is the map of Luskan. It's kind of what you're looking at. It's a very sort of chilly town. It's very far to the north. The day itself, it's sort of fairly clear. But there will be like a crisp breeze coming in from the sea. There's a huge sea known as the Sea of Swords to the west. So even on like a clear summer's day, it's still fairly chilly because you're very far to the north, and most people are robed in this town. Although looking around you, the group that have entered the town possibly for the first time, everybody looks like a pirate. Everybody looks kind of ruffianish. There's maybe a very subtle sense of danger as you head further south into this lower quarter of the town itself. It looks like a very low-income area, I guess. Yeah, I'll give you guys an idea of how the town works, because it's an interesting town. So basically, Luskan is ruled by ships, 5 ships. And they've been described as a band of pirates, but that kind of misses how deeply ingrained the ships are to the society of Luskan and the mentality of the citizens here and things like that. Sort of attacking ships in this place might incur the entire city's wrath upon you, as opposed to, if you attack a guard in a city, somebody might not be too bothered, whereas what the guards will be. There is a presence of this thing known as the Arcane Brotherhood in this city as well, but we'll get to them when we need to. For the most part, they live in this huge great tower that looks kind of like a hand or a tree busting up out of the ground. And they're generally not to be trifled with, but I don't think they get too hands-on with low-level, level 1 scrubs like yourselves. So unless you go busting into that tower, you probably won't have to deal with them straight away. So Luskan itself, this town, this city, is known as the City of Sails. It's, again, far in the north, very cold, and it sits behind fairly thick walls. You guys will have entered through the southern gate. I think Leo is from Neverwinter, which is fairly close. I think it's the next major city south, but still fairly far away. Neverwinter itself is a fairly cold area, but the city is naturally heated by a river, whereas Luskan isn't. So you've got these huge walls that you would have entered through, known as the Twin Teeth, and they're sort of 2 impressive towers. It might have taken you a little while to get in. They don't really take kindly to people coming into the town. They check everyone over. It's sort of a particular taste around here. You'll notice that most of the people in town are human, as opposed to there being a huge variety of things like half orcs, halflings, elves, dwarves. But there are a spattering, but it is generally a very human-based town. The captains of the ships. So these ships aren't actually physical ships. They probably once were, but they're actually they're sort of like 5 super important gangs. If I was to say that the city was run by 5 noble houses, that would make more sense. Though these ships do have their own ships themselves. But these are more like 5 very important gangs, and there is a hierarchy amongst them. And they don't actually have these sort of vessels that they send out to pirate and stuff like that. So they are like a fellow ship, I guess, each of them. Each member of each of these ships will sort of honor their own ship, but they don't tend to infight with the others either. They have their own symbols and colors, like kind of like gangs, you know. But they also take the jobs of guarding the town. So the guards that you'll see walking around armed in light armor and spears and things will actually be under the power of one of these ships. A brief overview: you have ship Kurth, which controls docks and activity and stuff like that. It's by far the most profitable of all the ships. You have ship Baron, which operates all of the fishing industry, sort of the second wealthiest of the ships. To give you an idea of how strong the main ship is it's more powerful than 2 times the one below it. Ship Soljak sort of conducts most of the piracy and raiding that does actually happen out of this town. It's not a nice place. This was like an old city that kind of run down, was once probably very powerful and probably run by like a nobility or a monarchy or something like that, but now is run by these sort of pirates, but they're fairly lawful pirates to a degree. Ship Tal was once the 5th ship and has been recently elevated to 4th ship, and they're pretty much in charge of just standing around and waiting for hand-me-downs from the ships above them. So they just work for the other ships. And then the least of the ships, Ship Rethnor, is usually the one which is actually on guard duty, and they have a very poor source of income from it. So the ships which run this town, I know that was a lot of a monologue and a thing for me to say, but we're probably going to be in Luskan for a while, so as awful and as long and boring as that was to listen to, you'll probably find that it will help you out as we go along. And it makes sense for what you're seeing around you, because everybody here looks like a winter pirate, and they all seem to be wearing specific colours. Okay, so back into real time, I guess. We see these 3 head into Rat Alley. So this alleyway, you 3 looking down it, is fairly dark, even though it's maybe about midday at the moment, just afternoon. It's crowded with trash and crates, lined on both sides by like low storehouses, and then there's just crates and barrels and things all the way down this alleyway. Looking down there doesn't appear to be anyone down there, even though this gentleman Peanut, who you're supposed to meet, said he would meet you here at this time. He doesn't appear to be down there. What do you 3 want to do?
Well, are we following each other? Are we together? Like, are we walking alongside one another?
Well, all 3 of you show up and look down this alleyway, and you're all 3. You all do the same thing. So you basically all appear, and then kind of as you're about to head down the alleyway, maybe hesitate a moment because he isn't there, and then clearly there are 2 other people that were possibly meant to meet him, or possibly are him, though they look a little confused.
Well, because I would like to know what exactly they are doing there.
Well, if you want to ask them, then crack on, because they're stood looking at you, and you're wondering one thing. What are they doing there? There's an odd look on your face, I presume. Kaval.
Always a resting bitch face, and I want to know, Halfling, why are you here?
Well, I don't think that what I'm here is any concern of yours there, lady, is it?
Jesus Christ. You, pretty boy, what are you doing here?
Thank you. I'm looking for Peanut. Are you her or him? I can't tell with your height.
No.
You guys is here for Peanut too?
Yes.
Aye?
Do you know where he is?
Well, if I knew where he is, I'd be there with him, wouldn't I?
I guess. I guess.
At the other end of the alleyway, a figure appears, larger than probably all three of you, and I guess the alleyway's pretty long, so he would be little more than a sort of shadowed figure to you. Tiger, what does your character Damien look like?
Damien, he's a bit tall. He's a bit tall, but for a dragonborn, he's not big. He's very thin. He's about 6'2", about 210 pounds ish, and he's very, 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 very dark. He's of the Black Clan per se, or the heritage, and his scales are a lot darker than most would think for being of the Black heritage. Now, with that being said as well, on the side of his head, he's got two really large scales that are white instead of the black, and he grew up that way. He doesn't really know why they're there or if there's a meaning by any means. And on top of all of that, his knees and his elbows both have overly large scales compared to the rest of his body for some reason. Not really quite sure why. Once again, he was just kind of born that way and still kind of figuring himself out. On top of all of that, he's just he doesn't look like most dragonborn. He's not as big. He's very thin in comparison to the majority of the rest of them.
So, you've arrived like a few seconds later than the others, but you're at the other end of the alleyway. Looking down the alleyway, you don't see anybody in the alleyway. There are three figures sort of huddled around, cautiously looking at each other, possibly questioning each other. But you also don't see Peanut, where you were supposed to meet him down this darkened alleyway.
I just stand there sitting, and I just lean against the wall that's behind me, and I just kind of cross my arms, and I sit there, and I just continue to wait.
All right. And the other three, you doing anything in particular?
So I see the big guy kind of approaching, and I kind of slink back behind the other two, kind of like still watching him, but not like in direct sight of said beast.
Mm-hmm.
I notice him and turn to him and I ask, Coconut?
He's pretty far away. He's like
Well, I approach him then.
yeah, he's
guess.
like maybe 50, 60 feet away from you down the alleyway.
Well, I go towards him and like avoiding all the people and trash. Like I do not want to touch these people.
There's no one down the alleyway. It's just a trashy alleyway.
Well, watching my steps. Yeah.
All right, give me a perception check.
Oh,
First
this is
roll.
gonna be so hard. No, shit. No, sorry.
Persuade the
Yes.
alleyway not to touch you back. You do so. The alleyway just seems to bend and move out of your feet's way as you wander down
Wait,
it.
is it on skills or say? Wait.
Yeah, it should be. I think it's just before persuasion. It should be under it.
No, that's.
before
Oh, yeah, that. Sorry. There we go. There we go. Sorry, guys.
Cool. So, Leo starts heading into the alleyway and walking down. Do the other two follow?
I do.
I'll
Yeah.
follow him.
All right.
Behind.
Come, ladies.
Into a darkened
And-
alleyway.
Don't talk to me.
Cool. Moving down the alleyway, you get about 30 feet in, about halfway down, and you notice out of the corner of your eye, Leo, a sort of robed figure suddenly stands up very quickly, very swiftly moves towards your side. He's got his hood up, and then he reaches out towards your pouch of gold, towards your pockets, and what do? If anything.
Like me or?
Yeah, you. He's reaching for you. There's
Oh,
a
shit.
guy has just appeared from between boxes, but you managed to see him.
I try to grab his hand as he's trying to grab my pouch.
All right, give me a dexterity save. Ooh. You had to beat a 4. So I'm rolling dice. For the record, everyone that's like listening, I have just dice in front of me for most of these rolls. It takes me forever to type them all out. You see his hand like whip out towards your pocket there, and you just grab him by the wrist and sort of bend it back a little bit, and he lets out a little oh, and then he looks up and says, looks at all three of you. He doesn't really see the Dragonborn at the other end of the alleyway, and he says, I must say, you wouldn't be looking for Peanut, would you?"
We do, yes.
And he sort of tries to take his hand free from yours and says, "Apologies there, my very handsome-looking man. The name's Peanut." And he sort of takes his robe, the hood part of his robe down. What you see before you is this sort of deathly thin-looking human. His robes are like very thick and maroon in colour. Underneath there is a hint of maybe some like leather armour. A bump in one side suggests maybe a dagger. And his like revealed head, there's all these tattoos along one side. Most notably, there is a tattoo of a crow on his bald head, and it's got a little peanut in his beak. His gaunt face reveals a set of yellowed teeth, and he says, "Well then, pretty boy, do you mind letting me go?"
I'll let him go.
He shakes his hand. "That's quite a grip you've got for those skinny little arms."
Thank you. Now, you have called us here, no?
Aye, that's right. Apologies, I normally, maybe pick a few pockets while I'm waiting for clientele. You have to understand it's quite difficult to make money when you're part of the Rethnership. He looks up at Caval and says, "Blimey, you're a big lass."
Talk to me again and I'll break those teeth.
Right. He just nods, immediately looks away down to the halfling and says, "Oh, I almost didn't see you there. Not because you're a halfling, but you're almost like a shadow."
That's kind of the way I like it, ain't it?
I suppose. And he kind of gives you a wink, a knowing between thieves wink. He kind of looks at each of you and then says, "Well, there were supposed to be 4 of you, but I suppose 3'll do." Tiger, give me a perception check. Let's see if you hear any of this going on.
That's what I was about to ask. Yeah.
Yeah, you just about make out what's going on. Like, as soon as they start moving into the alleyway, you've probably got an eye on them, and then suddenly you see him, this very small kerfuffle, and then you catch most of what's going on. Generally, that he's introducing himself as Peanut, and that he's looking for 4 people. He was supposed to meet 4 people here, and there's only 3. What do you do?
As soon as I heard him say something about 4 people, I kind of unlunched from the wall and walked over really slowly and didn't really say anything though. And I just kind of walked over and looked at Peanut because he,
Yeah, cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, so bundling down into this very narrow, darkened alleyway is this Dragonborn figure. So Dragonborn are actually quite a rare sight this far away from where they're from. They're actually from the very far east, or from one of the other sort of planes, one of the other realms. Yeah, he comes like bundling down this way, and Peanut kind of looks cautiously at you, and then as you approach, he says, "Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Please tell me that you're here for the job."
You called me here. Why wouldn't I be?
Thank God for that, I must say. You're far away from home, aren't you, there, little scale skin? He kind of flicks one of your scales.
Do you not remember just yesterday?
He looks you over and says, "Aye, but I didn't think you'd want these people to know that." Okay. And then looks back at them. "Right, I suppose, down to business?" Looks over each of you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Peanut kind of bundles you all in closer. He lifts his hood back up to kind of hide his face, and he says, "Right, here's the thing. I've got a nice big bag of gold for each of you, if you can do a little thing for me. I'm part of the ship Rethnor. Have you heard of it?" Out of curiosity.
No, I have not.
I mean, you might be the only one that has, being from Neverwinter. but I don't think anyone would have a huge, great knowledge of Luskan. It's possible. It's up to you, Tiger, specifically, because you're a learned man, whether you want to know about the politics and stuff of Luskan.
Can I go ahead and roll for it?
Sure, give me a history check.
Kind of to see how much I might know.
Not a lot. You know that it's run by like these 5 ships, but you probably don't know specifics about each of them.
Okay.
We'll say presumably that Maina and Kaval generally don't, and Leo, self-confessed, doesn't. So nobody really knows a hell of a lot about this city. He kind of looks over each of you and sees perplexed faces and says, "Well, it's a mighty fine ship. Yeah, I'd say we probably run this town, but I overheard a conversation between a regular at a nearby tavern known as the Cutlass. That's
Great. Talking about this again?
He looks back at you and says, "What? What's the matter there?"
Oh, nothing. Get on with it.
And
Please.
he pats you on the chest and says, "That's some nice scale mail you've got there," and gives you a wink. Looking back to the group, he says, "I overheard a conversation between a couple of thugs about 3-4 nights ago that they were possibly going to be doing in my Captain Hartushan Rethnor, the greatest captain Luskan has to offer. I want you people to see what you can find out and see if you can intervene in this assassination attempt at our fine leader." Looks over each of you, seeing how you react.
I
I
kind
nod.
of just stand and I just kind of look at the other 3 real quick, and I just kind of cross my arms. I don't really say anything to anybody.
Yeah, I keep my distance from you as well.
Well, one thing I want to know is what is going on between you two. I see you nodding at one another. The winks.
Yeah.
Are you
I
going
was
to
a
talk
bit
to us
curious
if we're,
about that too.
if we're going to be working together?
The Peanut sort of grabs onto your scale mail there, Damien, and gives it a nice tug and says, "Well, seeing as you wanted these lads to know," he bangs on the front of it, he says, "this one come running into town the other day, all cold and such, said, 'Oh, I'm looking for a few coin,' and I lent him, what was it now, 40 gold, I think, to buy himself a nice set of armour. So I must say I did myself out of a few coin there, because you look mighty fine." And he looks over the group and says, "I'm a money lender on the side. That's all it is. This one owes me a few coin."
I won't be here long.
Keyword, if you don't believe him, you can roll an insight check to see if he's telling the truth. You have to beat an 11.
All right. Yeah, let's do it.
So under skills, you can do insight, which is basically like reading body language and things like that.
All right. I shall roll that. 19.
Yeah,
Ooh.
smashed it. You're you're a paladin, so you're actually pretty charismatic, and charisma lends itself to insight, I think. And yeah, I mean, it just seems like this guy's telling the truth. He seems like a shifty sort of street thief, kind of low-level pirate, but in this case, in terms of what he's saying, it seems like he's telling the truth. Also, it's pretty common for people to come into town and borrow money off of people for while they stay. Money lenders are all around, especially in sort of low-run towns like this. So, yeah, seems like he's making sense to you, telling the truth.
Oh, well. So be it then.
He looks up to the Dragonborn, taps him on the shoulder, and just says, "Sorry there, buddy. I didn't think you'd want them to know that you were on the Brassic side, that you were poor."
I just like snort my nose really hard at him, and I look away from him.
All right, give me a con save.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, great. What did I do?
Constitution save is to sort of generally stop yourself from like most of the time it's like to stop yourself from being poisoned and stuff like that. You can use it to see how drunk you get and things like that. For this, it was to see whether Damien actually accidentally spat out a little bit of acid over Peanut. Because Damien does have he's a dragon. He's partially a dragon. He's like a dragon humanoid, so he does actually have the ability to breathe acid. And that's what that was for, Tiger. But yeah, you don't. You feel it. It's like a sneeze, but you don't launch out a few specks of acid on him. And he turns back to the group again and he says, "Listen, I've got 1,000 gold sitting waiting for you at my house. If you'd look into this little thing for me, I can't really move around the town and start asking people about it because people know who I am, you see. So I needed some strangers, some out-of-towners to do the job. Specifically, I think you might want to start by heading over to the Cutlass. I heard these thuggish-looking brutes in a sort of corner at the back of the bar, and specifically I heard a half-orc speaking to some sort of, I don't know if he was a mage, but he had like the arcane sort of robes of one, red robes, and they were speaking for little more than a minute, which at first I thought, that's suspicious, because if you're in a tavern you should be drinking, am I right?" He smacks the bard on the front of the chest. You react, Leo?
Not really.
just take
I
it.
just play cool.
Yeah, he's super thin. I mean, I think even though you're sort of a Gastoni looking character, you're probably kind of thin too because you have a 9.
I mean, I'm not as muscly as him, but like I'm not, myself. I'm not a fucking scrawny white Swedish guy.
I mean, this guy does look like a scrawny white Swedish guy, but bald.
Oh, that I guess. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. The Peanut looks. Fuck it, he looks exactly like Pony Punch in real life. But if Pony was in
Yeah, I get.
pirate outfit and then some robes over the top. Yeah, he sort of smacks you across the front and then he says, specifically what I heard as I caught on to the end of the conversation slinking over to the back of the bar was, I can offer you 500 gold pieces each to sort out Rethner, 250 now and 250 when the full job is done. I assume that'll be enough for to cover your silence. From what? I mean, I stepped away. I went and found myself 4 fine-looking adventurers, and I wonder if perhaps you could look into it. If you find out that indeed this will be an attack on my Captain Rethner's life, then there'll be an extra treat in it for you at the end. For preventing it, of course.
290.
You want 290 gold
Yeah.
instead of 1,000.
What?
1,290.
You want 1,290 gold.
No. I
No.
want 290 in total.
You want
Right off
290.
this chain.
You want, and the rest of you get 250. How's that sound?
Well, see, the thing is, aren't we doing you a favor? Don't you owe this man money?
Was I talking to you?
No, I'm talking to you. Even
Yes, this
split.
is not a business agreement between myself and you. Small one.
Ooh. How tall is
Don't
Kaval?
speak to me like that. I'm gonna say about 6'4", maybe 6'3", 6'4".
She's taller than you.
Big lady. Oh.
Right? You said 6. You say 6 foot. Tiger.
I'm 6'2", yeah.
Oh, you're
Now I was
6'2".
talking to you.
Oh, and you were talking to.
I was talking to Peanut.
To Peanut. I mean, he's just looking between the two of you at first, grinning. His horrible yellow teeth, like half of them missing. Right at the back, there's one that's sort of covered in some sort of like gold, probably fool's gold. And then when he realizes that you're talking to him, he says, "Oh, is that right? You wanna? I mean, to be fair, you're just one man, and I have the entire city guard at my back. So perhaps you might not want to speak so discourteously to me when you owe me money."
Yes, I could also eat you, but I haven't yet, haven't I? Thank you.
Give me an
And I'm appreciative.
intimidation check.
Can I
Intimidation. check?
interfere?
Yeah,
Just
you
place
can.
my hand on his shoulder.
On the Dragonborn shoulder.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to need you to calm down now, sir.
I'm
Even
very
Squid.
calm.
There's no need to threaten this man. He's
Not
paying
threatening.
us for his work, and you
Not
owe him
threatening at all.
money.
We have
You
a
just said you were
relationship.
going to eat him.
He understands where I'm coming from.
Well, I don't, and I don't
That's
appreciate
fine.
this kind of behavior. If we're
And
going to
what
be
kind of
working
behavior
together,
is that?
you could be at least a little more polite with the man we're doing business with.
I kind of step forward a little bit more. And
Yeah, I think that what he's trying to say here is this seems like a bit of a dangerous situation and maybe a bit, a little bit extra as insurance for us to start off would be nice.
I look over at the two of them I see the hand on my shoulder still, and I look down at Peanut. And I don't say anything to them. I just snarl real loud again, and I look at Peanut, and I just kind of sigh.
There's
looking for an answer from him.
There's a moment of like fear that you probably catch that flashes over his eyes, and he kind of like he says, "Right, calm down, right. Listen, I'll offer you each 300 gold. How about that? It's the best I can
I look
do."
over at the other people. I don't say anything.
I'll take my hand off his shoulder and just nod.
300 gold and a little special gift if you save me captain's life, should it come to it.
Sounds good to me.
All right. You had to beat an 18 on that intimidation check, by the way, Tiger. So congrats.
Did I?
Yeah.
Good.
All right. So Peanut like steps back and just says, "I'm afraid I don't really know anything else about this situation. I think maybe that half orc, he's a regular of the Cutlass, but I don't tend to go in there too much myself." He just looks over you. "Well, if you're ready, then
You know where it's located?
no."
Ah.
I didn't want to ask any questions, you see. As soon as I start asking questions, other people start asking questions, then people start looking for poor little Peanut, and I like to hide down alleyways. Don't like
Well, this is
people
a
looking
kind of
for me.
scrawny town. Shouldn't be an issue finding it.
It's massive, actually. It's kind of big.
Well, I'm from Neverwinter.
Oh yeah, you are from Neverwinter, so this is like
It's a scrawny fucking town.
this is kind of It's still a city though. Like there's
yeah.
it's still got that kind of city level of intimidation. You, however, are probably one of the best dressed people here. You're
As always.
you're in like quite fine clothes, and walking around like you probably haven't seen anyone at all dressed in clothes as nice as yours so far. So yeah, that sort of condescension is perfectly acceptable, I think.
Good.
Yeah, he's just looking at you and says, "Listen, if you find anything out, you can find me here for a few hours around noonish most days." And then he just settles back down behind his little box, and a shadow sort of falls over him, and he sort of quietly just sits and looks up at you.
I look over at the other three, and I just kind of try to like say it in the sense of not wanting Peanut to hear it, and I'm like, "I'm really sorry that I seemed so aggressive back there."
It's fine.
That's quite all right.
Is it?
Relatively.
I've seen
I'm
worse.
sorry.
You said you arrived here yesterday?
Something like that, yes.
Do you know your way around?
A little. Can I roll up? What do you want me to roll to see how much I know about the town? How much I know about the area?
I guess you just wouldn't know very much. So if you want to give me, have you been like wandering around in the last couple of days? Is that the type of thing that you do? I guess it probably would be. So I guess it's a weird thing because I don't normally do city crawlers. So I guess maybe a survival check or something. Give me a survival check, 'cause that's kind of tracking and remembering layouts and things. No, you don't really know.
I've been here for a few days, but Honestly, this town is huge.
You probably know your way. In fact, I can give you this on Roll20. The stream can't see it, but here's a higher quality map. You probably know your way down like a singular road from the inn that you've been staying at. We'll say that you've been staying at the Seven Sails Inn, which is... Sorry, stream, for not being able to like ping and show you things on the thing, but I'm just showing them on the map. It's sort of towards the north of the main bulk of the town. I will be able to draw a little thing here. So
Okay.
you probably know your way down like this main road, down to Rat Alley at the bottom, but that's about it.
Okay. Oh,
But you don't know your way to the Cutlass, even though you know where it is on the map.
I think we're going to need to ask someone around here for directions. I've only been here a few days, and this road back here to the inn I'm staying at is all I know. Again, I want to apologize for being so aggressive.
That's quite all right.
Maybe we ought to have that tall boy over there with the thing on his back ask for us. It might look a little bit odd. For us all to go up together.
Me? I'd rather not get sick. I don't want to talk, stuff.
What?
I don't want to talk to the people in the town.
Why?
Have you seen the way they dress?
Have you seen the way you dress?
Have you? What's that supposed to mean?
What do you mean?
I'm the nicest guy, and this is the nicest dress I've seen since I came
So far,
here.
you're very presumptuous.
Well, prove me wrong.
And I look
man.
over, and I look at I look at Caval, and I'm just like, very handsome.
Annoying though.
Hmm. What?
He's incredibly annoying though, isn't he?
Who?
The pretty
bard?
boy. Aye. He'll probably
As long as
know
you call
where we
me
need to
pretty
go.
boy, it's fine.
Oh, come on now. All right, guys, listen. Let's all have a moment. All right.
And I kind of step up and more in front of him.
Let's think about this.
Think about
Probably
what?
all right. What we're having to do here, we're going to work together, right?
Work
We need to
together.
work. Yeah.
I'm here for one reason, and that's it. And once we're done, I'll be parting ways.
But you're here for the reason, right?
That reason is not you.
But we're all going towards the same goal, correct?
No.
Well, aren't we all getting paid? Aren't we all heading to this tavern? Aren't
No.
we gonna...
I
Is that
could
not our
drink.
goal? No,
I could
no
have a
drinking.
drink.
No drinking on the job. Are you drunk
Job?
already?
This is a job?
We're
Is this
getting
how we
paid for
talk?
it, aren't we?
I really don't like where this is going. And I just start walking slowly kind of away from him.
All right.
And can I lean in then to Peanut and ask if Turtleman dies, do I get his half?
Peanut looks up at you and says, "Well, he owes me money, to be honest, so no."
Shite.
He smacks you on the butt.
As I'm as I'm walking away, I put my hand up and I just like really loud let out this really loud like grumble, and I just kind of like wave my hand like, "Come, we've got to go. We can't just stand here.
I mean, at
We can
the
walk and talk."
at the bottom of this alleyway, like the longer stretch, there is like market stands and things selling things. They're fairly run-down looking market, but there's a few stalls that are selling lots of different things: fish, items, really like poorly made clothes and things. Just your average sort of mostly bohemian looking pirate market. And there's quite a few stalls. There are mostly just common folk walking up and down. Almost all of them are human. So there's plenty of people at the bottom of the alleyway if you're heading out that way.
What would you, as far as half orcs in this city, would you say that that's something that's very common?
No.
Okay.
No. There's apart from humans, basically every other race is fairly uncommon here.
Okay. Are the other three walking with me?
All right, so I kind of like roll my eyes and just shake my head, kind of just shrug it off and start at a decent distance, following him.
Come on now, let's get this done with.
I'm gonna just take a moment to lean up against a wall and rest my head in my hands with it just. Oh, God. Then I follow suit.
Adventure.
And you all head out of the bottom of the alleyway. We sort of see briefly Peanut just like watching you all leave, and then he sort of smiles to himself and sits back and says, "Why didn't they just ask me where the cutlass is?" And then shakes his head as you all head out of the alleyway.
I go back.
No,
I'm kidding.
you can't, because that's metagaming,
No.
and I'll punish you.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, so you head out, and you sort of the three of you sort of spill out into the daylight again. It's again just a little bit afternoon, and yeah, there's a few people sort of selling things. They're sort of doing that marketplace. Come and get your things. Come and get your fish. Come and get your clothing. Come and get your little dolls for your kitty. You want to buy your little girl a doll? Look at this. And you know they're walking. I guess as you walk past the first like market stall. Who walked out first?
That would have been me.
You, and then Halfling,
Me.
and then Kiwo.
Caval and then me.
So as Kaval walks out, there's a very small woman. She's sort of bent over crooked. She's very like she's probably in her 70s, and she sort of looks up and says, Do you want to buy your little daughter there a nice little dolly?" And she sort of just shakes this. It looks more like a voodoo doll than an actual dolly. She just shakes it like into Mayna's face, but while she's looking up at
I
Kaval.
like turn and like give her just like the nastiest looking snarl.
You say what?
Give me an intimidation check. You have to beat a 4.
Oh God. Where is it?
On your skills, sorry, on your character sheet, on the left, there's a box that's got like the most. Cool, yeah. So it's not super intimidating to the rest of you, but this little old lady drops the doll and says, you scared the feck out of me. What the heck? It's a feckin' halfling. There's not many of you around. And she kicks the doll over to you and just says, "You're bad luck. Take it."
I reach down, pick it up, and toss it back at her,
I don't want your crap.
and turn to walk away.
She catches it with a crit 20. It's the greatest catch you've ever seen in your entire life. Like you spank this thing at her as hard as you can, and she just whoosh. It's like that. If you've ever seen that video on YouTube where that baseball guy is having an interview and that ball is coming in behind him, and he just turns around and catches it, and it's the greatest thing in the world. Like she just kind of does one of those, like a whoosh. She like pops it back on the table and says, "Ungrateful little wretch."
Racist little bitch.
Just keep on walking.
Am I next in line?
I
Yeah,
turn
you're
around,
all kind of
did
around
I hear the
store.
scuffle? Did I hear that scuffle?
Yeah, it was like all of you were there just watching it happen in like.
I just kind of turn around and I'm like. I just
Do I
laugh.
have any gold?
If you look in your inventory and your I don't know what it says on there. What is it? I think it says inventory. Hang on. Sorry, chat. I need to just quickly bring up a character sheet. I haven't got any open. So, under equipment. So if you look on one of the center columns at the very bottom, you've got equipment.
The core one?
On core, yeah. So you have underneath all your hit points. Scroll all the way to the bottom of the character sheet. You'll see all this like list of equipment. At the very top, you have. No, that's not you. Let me see. Hang on. Let's open cavalry. You have greatsword, and then chainmail and stuff like that. So you've got on the left CP, SP, EP, GP, and PP. You have next to GP, that's how many gold
Okay.
pieces you have. We're only really going to be using gold pieces, silver pieces, and copper pieces. Electrum pieces are like super rare elven currency, I think. I don't know what PP is. Maybe chat can tell me.
Well, I would
What is PP?
like to go to the old woman,
Mhm.
and I'm sorry for her behavior. I throw her 2 coins and head back on my way.
I walk over as she was throwing the 2 coins, and I look down as she does she catch the 2 coins as
That's
good as she
fine.
caught a doll?
1, 2. No, she drops one of them, but manages to pocket one of the other ones, and she like looks down, and then she starts to scrabble along because the coin would have landed on the table in front of her among all of her little dolls that she's sewn, and she's looking around for it.
I lean down really cautiously at her because I know I'm huge compared to her,
Hmm.
and I'm just like, "Pardon me, can you tell us how to get to the cutlass?"
She's amazed that someone has just given her 2 gold. She's almost in shock. I'm going to give her a con save to see if she just immediately goes into shock. No, she's all right. She's crit 20ing all over the place. She's just beaming. She's well happy. She pockets the 2 coins and says, "Oh, thank you there, my lovely. What are you, a cleric?
Paladin.
A paladin. Oh, you've come to save us all, have you? What's that there the symbol of? Who's that there?"
Tom.
Torm. Oh, gracious. Oh, lawful. You're a lovely lady, and I hope you do well, and that Torm blesses you on your travels. And she looks up at the dragonborn and says, "The cutlass, it's at the end of the road there."
Thank you.
And points down
It's very
towards
kind of you.
the end of the road. She says, "You'll want to go down to Half Moon Street, and you'll find it on the corner by the crossroads."
Is there anything we should know about the area?
She looks around you, and there's just everyone here looks like they're about to steal from you. Think of, I don't know, I guess you each imagine your roughest area of town. It just looks like that all the way around this sort of mostly bottom quadrant of this map, where from where Market is all the way down to where the Cutlass is sort of very, it's the rough end of town. And she just looks around and says, "I suppose it's no rougher than here."
Look that rough.
Yeah.
And I want to know that I have a piece of cloth against my face, all my face. Try not to breathe in too much.
I look over, and I just kind of shake my head and go back to what I'm doing. And I start slowly kind of walking away from the group towards where I was told the Cutlass is at. Because every time, like, I kind of get told something, I'm paying attention to them, but I just kind of keep acting like I'm going on my own way after I ask questions.
Cool. Everybody
And
else?
I follow.
Follow after him.
I'm just trying to mod someone in chat, but I stream so little that I don't know how to do it. All right. Because all my mods are abandoning me. Thanks. Yeah. Play Arc. All right. So we see the group kind of head down the sort of main market road. It's a very long road. This is probably one of the colder roads because you're quite close to the beach, the seafront. There's this, I guess, to your right, if you're heading sort of southwards, there is the Sea of Swords, which is stretching out forever. There's a beach. There are some vessels here. There's actually quite a lot of vessels. Most of them have different sails. One of them you'll notice to be almost the exact maroon colour of Peanut's robe that he had on. Yeah, there's all sorts of various pirate-looking dudes, bandanas, eye patches, parrots, peg legs, moving up and down, and that's sort of your view on one side. On the other side, you have just this sprawling city, and you start moving into the you're moving south towards the Cutlass, and I think we'll go to a quick break, give everyone a chance to catch their breath. We have finally begun, so thanks for watching, and we'll be back after a 5 minutes or so. We're going to have a quick break. Go and get yourself a nice drink, or maybe some Class A drugs if you're into that
A
sort
nice
of thing.
cup of tea.
Get
nice-
some beers. Have some beers with me.
Have a beer,
Mm.
have...
I mean,
just do whatever you want, basically, but only
Glue.
only do it for 5
Glue.
minutes.
I'm with you.
Sniff some glue. Yeah,
We'll do this together.
we often condone Class A drugs before we go to a break on these streams because I find that it really helps you get into the sort of imaginatory
It
spirit.
centers you. It centers. It puts you in this place that you've never been before. Literally.
So we'll be back in a few minutes, and we'll continue as these guys head into, they head towards the Cutlass. What we do see, lastly though, is a couple of shady figures reach out hands towards our heroes' pockets, and we'll deal with that when we come back. See you in a few. You won't see us, but we'll
Son of
see
a
you.
bitch.
welcome back to the Wolves of Water. Welcome back to the Wolves of Water. The group are walking down the sort of one of the main roads on the south end of that there map, if you're looking at a map. I'm gonna throw a keyword. I'm gonna throw you under the bus. So what we're gonna do real quick, and I apologize everybody who can't see it, but we're gonna roll just a standard dice. So on your tool bar on the left, there's a weird looking kind of circle triangle cube. It's a 20-sided dice net. If you click on that, it brings up a dice roller. Now you can click those symbols at the top for a basic roll, or you can do a roll 1d20 plus blah blah plus blah blah. If you wanted to do that. So what I'm going to get you to do is just roll a d4 for me.
Okay, and I just click on that.
Yes. And that is a 4, which means looking at this order that you're in on the screen, it's Mr.
I'm the 4, yeah.
Mr. Damien Darksparrow. Oh no, not this screen. The stream screen. So as you're walking along, a very small, shady figure appears to your side. What is your passive perception, Mr. Damien Darksparrow, Mr. Tiger Writer?
Passive perception, when you ask that? Where would I find that?
Yeah, so your passive perception is just underneath all of your skills. There's passive perception wisdom in parentheses, as you would say, and then the circle number on the left.
Okay, yeah, I've got a passive wisdom, and that's all it shows me.
There's no number in a circle on the left?
Oh, it says 12.
12, there you go.
By passive wisdom, sorry.
Yeah, so that's your perception check without ever actively looking around. That's how easy it is for you to see something. So you don't see this little figure appear at your side, but you do feel a little hand tug on your coin purse for a moment, and then what do you do?
When I feel the tug, I turn around really quick to grab the hand. What can I roll to see if I get their hand?
Give me a dex save.
Great. You choose dex of everything.
Well, you have to beat a 3, so...
Good.
You spin around, and your coin purse is maybe more efficiently attached than this person is used to. And you grab a very small, very thin wrist. Looking down, you see a boy, maybe 10 years old, maybe younger, very sort of scraggly black hair, quite a dirty face, looking up at you with big brown eyes. His clothes are quite tattered, he hasn't got any shoes, and he's sort of just got this hand on your purse, but then this huge dragon-born clawed hand grips his wrist, and he looks up at you and lets out a small whimper.
As he's grabbing the purse and lets that whimper out, when I was turning around and grabbed him, I had that suspicion that it wasn't somebody bigger than me. So when I went around and grabbed him, I pick him up and I throw him over my left shoulder, and I look up at him, and I'm just like, "You, what's your name?"
He screams. Headphone user's grip. Give me an athletics check as he tries to wriggle free as soon as you pick him up. Yeah, he slips through your hands like butter. It's almost as if he's been greased. Or maybe he's just super dirty with years of grease.
Street crud.
Street crud. Greasy street crud slips out of your hands. As you go to lift him up, your hands just go, and he lands on his feet, like a little Mowgli position, and then he just skitters off and runs down the road pretty damn fast. You can attempt to grab him one last time if you'd like.
I don't even try to grab him. As he's running away, I just yell, "I don't have any money. You would have taken an empty purse." That's all I say, and I just kind of because I'm very, it's very funny to me because he's such a child. Yeah, I'm so much bigger than him.
All right. So he just runs off. He's gone. He runs and skitters off down the road as fast as he can. Give me a perception check. Yeah, you don't notice that he has stolen your penknife.
Son of a bitch.
So you laugh at him running away down the street, And
So he stole my quill. Is that what he stole?
no, he stole your penknife, and I have
Do I have a pen?
not anymore. I've removed it from your inventory.
That little fuck.
Uh,
As we're walking, I just kind of start tapping my pockets, and and I have no clue.
yeah, no idea that this is just gone from your things.
Nice.
And he will be using that penknife to try and split some other people's coin pouches for the rest of the day, I'm sure. All right, so you guys head down the road, and you start heading towards the Half Moon Street. As you approach the corner of where this road that you're on meets Half Moon Street, can everybody roll me a perception check, please? 15, 8, 18, and 5.
God damn it.
So Caval and Leo, you don't pick up on this, but Damien and Maina, you hear this sort of light metallic tapping coming from below you, just as you round the corner, and each of you like starts to move up Half Moon Street. Yeah, you hear this sort of like rat-a-tat-tat on some on the metal below you. When you look down, you see a circular sewer grate, just in the ground, standard. But through this grate, a set of yellow eyes peer up at you, and as Leo and Caval carry on walking, the both of you look down. You see these two little yellowed eyes, and you hear a little "hello." What do you do?
I look over. I just look over at her. I don't even say anything. I just look over and I look back down.
Yeah, I think kind of like look up and kind of meet eyes and look down, but I'm kind of like I look on my face like the fuck. Like, what?
I reach down towards the grate and I slowly start trying to see if can I take this off?
Give me an athletics check.
Athletics.
At this point, Leo and Caval, you probably notice that the other two seem to have stopped, and as you look back a few feet away, you see them just looking down at this grate. Then you see Damien head down, and he tries to lift this grate up, and he doesn't seem to be able to. After a minute, actually no, give me an investigation check while you're trying to lift this thing, and it doesn't really move.
While he's trying to lift, I'm just kind of like,
Are you sure this is a good idea? I mean,
Probably not.
what?
And I just keep trying to pick it up.
Yeah, this one, like,
getting it.
you sort of realize is sort of bolted down, or maybe locked from underneath or something like that. The type of thing where you would have to go down into the sewer by one of the specific routes and then open it up. They usually like screw or something like that into place. There are plenty of access points to the sewers. There's loads of them, but this isn't really one. It's
While
quite
that's
small.
happening
It's a much smaller grate as well. You probably wouldn't even fit in it. It's maybe like half a foot across.
Are the green or the yellow eyes still there?
Yeah.
I look down and I kind of get closer with my eyes, like, to the grate, and I just say, "Who are you? What do you need?"
The little voice blinks a few times up at you, these little yellow eyes, and he says,
My name is Tater. I live here in the sewers. I desire an apple.
I pay him no mind after I realize he's just begging, and I just stand up from the grate and I look over, and I look. How do I want to make sure I'm saying it right? How do you say? Is that Maina? How do I say?
Maina.
Maina. I look over at Maina.
Yeah.
This guy's just a beggar. We should go.
I think that's a
And
good
I start
idea.
walking away.
I kind of like have one last glance down at it, kind of like cautiously, and then follow in suit.
"All right."
Are we close by now? Like,
Untrustingly almost.
did we walk back and look at them, like what was going on? Yeah.
Yeah. By the time you head over, you see that they're talking to someone in the sewer, or they're talking to a sewer grate maybe. And as you approach, you probably hear, as you get close enough, like
An apple.
Yeah. Okay, then I want to spit down.
you're gonna spit.
Yeah.
Boy.
All right, give me a
I don't like this town at all. I like these people.
Yeah, no, you probably wouldn't. I mean, you're not a noble. You just
No, I know, but I feel like one. You know, like
yeah,
I
I
am.
guess, yeah.
You know.
You're in fine clothes because you perform. But yeah, I mean, you probably wouldn't like it here. Give me like an attack roll. Do you have like a bow or anything? Something with a. Give me a d20 plus your dex.
D20, and I have 2, so that's +2.
Yeah, so a d20 plus 2. An 8. So you just spit. It just hits the ground near the grate. The little thing has no idea that you spat.
I can't even spit.
I look back and do I realize he spit?
Yeah, everyone. He just clearly went.
He clearly did it in front of all of us.
Yeah.
Are you noble?
Almost. Close to it.
Almost does not count. Are you noble?
Technically, no.
Technically, no. Okay. Why are you spitting on them?
He's a beggar.
Yes, but we're in a
Needs to know
beggar
his
city.
place.
You're going to get us killed.
From a beggar?
It's not going to be one beggar.
Well, 2 beggars. You're a big guy.
Have you looked
got a
around the
sword.
town? And then as I say that, I just kind of like roll my hand and point to everybody that we can see. Are there a decent amount of people around us, or are we just kind of secluded?
Yeah. It's a pretty busy sort of crossroads. Yeah.
You see all these people. You see how they all kind of look the same as these beggars that you're spitting on.
Unfortunately.
Well, unfortunately, while we're here, you're going to have to suck it up. Because while we're here, there's more of them than there is of us. And if you spit on one of them and I'm with you, they're going to come after me. And if that's the case, I'm coming after you.
There's a laugh from
I
the
just
grate.
bye. I like fuck yeah.
The voice sort of speaks up from the grate and says,
I bet I have more money than you.
How much you got?
let's see. Hold on.
I'm gonna roll.
All right. He says,
I got 23 gold coins.
Uh-huh.
What you got?
You know how
pretty
much
boy?
I got? What I roll? Or
you have an amount of money.
I don't have shit.
You should have money.
I don't
There's only
think-
one person.
Wait,
who
do I?
doesn't.
Wait.
Let me
I think I didn't add any. It should be in my equipment, no?
Yeah. So it's on the left. There are like 5 smaller boxes. One of them says GP.
Oh. Yeah. How much did he have?
He has 23.
Okay, I won't. I just chuckle.
I mean, you can
And
try and
turn around.
deceive him. You can say an amount and roll a deception
Oh,
check.
okay. Yes. I want to do that.
Yeah. How much do you want to tell him you have?
14, 13. Did you say the first number then when we do this?
Yeah, it's the first number. If it's sometimes you have advantage, and sometimes you have disadvantage, so you take the higher or the lower depending on the one. But generally, we always take the first number in the column. How much do you say that you have on you?
I see. He had 23, did he?
Yeah, he's a 23.
23. Okay, I'll say 55.
He goes,
Oh. Yeah, he's probably a noble. I guess.
I look at Tiger and I raise my eyebrows. Like,
I'm not joking. I'm not getting killed because you're pretentious.
Well, let's make our way, shall we?
We shall. But I suggest that you take this as a heed of warning and not as a threat. I'm looking out for all of us, not just you or me. Did you just yawn at me?
What? No.
I turn
I'm tired. I
around
haven't been able to sleep for days.
and I just kind of scuff and I just start walking.
all right.
Throughout the entire ordeal, I've just been standing there with my head in my hands, just sighing loudly.
Yeah, the eyes look at you, Kaval. Give me an insight check with disadvantage because it's only eyes.
Oh God.
So, again, this is like a disadvantage. So basically, you take the lower of the two, which is a 9. Yeah, the eyes are just looking at you for a moment. They blink a couple of times. You can't really make out what is happening with those two little eyes. Yeah, do you head on with the others?
Oh. Well, to be fair, I only heard the apple part, didn't I?
No, you would have heard
Used to-
everything from the apple part. You would have walked back with them.
Oh God. Oh God, I don't. I want to help him.
Okay,
No.
here's something that I'll sort of railroad you, or at least inform you on somewhat. Paladins are kind of super lawfully good. I'm not gonna because you're fresh out of the gates, noob. You super scrub, learn to play scrub.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
The paladins generally have like a set of tenets, which are strict rules that they live by. It's basically like the 10 Commandments kind of thing. Is that kind of a deal in that they would never break those laws? Like you probably won't ever catch a paladin like stealing or just murdering people and things. They're very lawfully good. They'll generally do something on the you're a good guy, basically a super good guy, to lawfully so. Brienne is just 100% lawful good in Game of Thrones. Yeah, for everyone else, I won't impose too much of your alignment things on you because I don't generally play alignment games super heavily. But for you, sometimes your alignment will come into play just because you're a paladin. So if you do something that's very un-paladin-like, unlawful good-like, then there'll be warnings and consequences. Consequences. Just letting you know, and that I don't want that to influence what you're doing right now. It's just this is a good point, I think, to just sort of give you an idea of how paladins work and stuff like that. But again, I'm not super duper strict on it. But I think paladins, if you're gonna play that class, they sort of come with this.
Well,
imposed.
in that case, I'm gonna walk away, but I'm gonna keep a mental note of that sewer grate, just in case.
Okay. And lastly, our little halfling Maina. What does she do?
Oh, well, we had kind of dismissed it.
Yeah,
before,
you're heading on as well?
The other character, yeah, I'm already like halfway up the street, like they're having their little spinning contest.
Nice, yeah, and you head away from the grate and start heading up Half Moon Street. We see another random person walk past the grate, and you hear a little
Hello.
and they kind of startle and they look down, dropping their stuff in their arms. bowl of apples. One rolls into the grate and he runs off, skittering and happy. After a couple of minutes, you come to what can only be described as an inn or a tavern, and you see this sort of 2-story building on the corner of a crossroads, between 4 streets crossing over. The building itself is sort of old looking, like worn paint, splintered wooden beams, but it looks completely stable. There's a couple of balconies that overhang half of Half Moon Street. There's a boarded up window on one side that suggests possibly some recent damage, something like that. And there's a raucous noise. The tavern appears to be in full swing at lunchtime. It looks like you're at the place. There was once probably a sign that hung from one of those posts that sticks out from the front, but there's nothing hanging from it anymore. But this definitely the loudest, biggest building. Sounds like a tavern to you from outside.
Are there a lot of people around us for the most part still?
Yeah, it's a little bit less busy than the sort of market road at the bottom, but it's still fairly busy. Just common folk moving up and down.
Can I roll a perception to see if I can grab one of the common folk and see if they'll talk to me?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
You want me to roll something for it, or just yell at one of them?
Oh, no, you can just grab someone. I mean, there's just people. There's men, there's women, there's children walking up and down.
I see a man and a woman walking by, and I try to stop them and get their attention. Do I?
Yeah, they sort of stop and look at you. They look a little bit shifty. They don't look quite as piratey as the rest of people. They just look like your average sort of common folk. They sort of, as you stop them and approach them, they grab each other's hands and look up at you. The man says, "Can I help you?"
Hi. My name is Damien. What is yours, if I could ask?
Nice to meet you, Damien. My name's Damien.
I beg you no ill will. I can tell that you're on your feet a little bit, and I'm much bigger than you, and I'm sorry for that, but I just have a very simple question, and if you can answer it, I'd be very grateful.
He kind of like, let me see how scared he is. Yeah, he kind of like calms down. He's like, "Oh yeah, I guess I can't be afraid of another Damien.
Yes, exactly.
Damien's
And I chuckle with
a
him.
nice name. It's not an evil name, is it?
It's a wonderful name.
I've never
Gave it
heard
to
of an evil
myself.
Damien. You named yourself Damien.
I did. But have you
So
seen
did
many...
I. Like two seconds ago.
I like it. What's your real name?
It's Damien. It was a joke. I'm sorry. It didn't land. I get it.
To get to the point, have you by any weird chance seen any half-orcs anywhere around this area?
Damien is crestfallen right now because his joke didn't land, and he's an aspiring comedian. And you'll need to give me a persuasion check to get his attention back.
What do you want, persuasion?
Yes, please. Oh. Damien immediately recovers from his thing. He's used to it. He's a terrible comedian. He bombs all the time. He looks up and says, "A half-orc. There's one or two that you'll find. What do you need a half-orc for? Heavy lifting? You're pretty strong
I don't
looking."
want to be rude to you, but that's actually sadly none of the concern that I can give you. Have you seen any of them close to here?
I get it. I mean, sure, people come to this tavern from all over. I wouldn't imagine that there's anybody in this town that hasn't been to the Cutlass.
So you're saying you think that they might be in the Cutlass?
Maybe. I'm afraid I don't know.
And as he's talking, I'm pretty much done with him, and it's very obvious that I am. But I reach down and I offer my hand out for his hand, and I'm just like, "Thank you very much."
He goes to take the coin from your hand and realizes you're not giving him any coin, and then just takes your hand and looks up at you and says, "Okay."
And I shake it very thoroughly, very heavy.
Give me an athletics check.
I let him know I'm shaking his hand.
Yeah, you try and shake it thoroughly, but somehow Damien has a grip like iron. As you sort of put your your scaly black clawed hand into his, and it completely encompasses him, his tiny little human hand grips yours back, and for a moment you think, "Christ, this is the strongest person I have ever met." As he shakes your hand, you sort of try to grip it harder, and he starts to grip yours harder. There's a moment where you're sort of both doing that thing where it's like, "I'll see if who can grip hardest," and it's absolutely Damien the human as he slightly crushes your hand, and then he lets go and slaps his wife on the butt, and they move on, and he's laughing.
As he's laughing and says that, I literally out of just I'm very impressed. I am being a dragon, being a dragonborn and having come from where I come, being a barbarian, being where I came from. I just can't, I lose my mind with how strong this little tiny guy is. I'm so excited about it. And I just I turn around to him real quick, and as he's walking away, I said, "Come back here. Come, please come back here."
I got shit to do. What you want?
And I call over Cavall.
Yeah.
Cavall, come.
Yes.
If you would.
Of course. What
You
is
look
it?
very strong. Shake this gentleman's hand, would you? I want you
Alright.
to feel this grip.
Damien looks like he's immediately frightened of Cavall for some reason. Cavall, give me an insight check if you want to work out what's going on with him.
Insight?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, this dude's probably a criminal, and you look like a lawful knight. you're like one of the king's guard have arrived suddenly in his presence, and he looks like, oh shit, and he sort of looks you over, and he he's like, no, that lovely to meet. Blessings be to Tyr. Is that Tyr?
Torm.
Torm, of course. I was just. It's just a little joke there between friends. Blessings to Torm. What is it? How can I help there, Lady of Torm?
Now look over to Damien. Damien, what is it? What did you want?
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to take us any more time, but
No, it's fine.
just shake his hand. Squeeze her hand like you squeezed mine.
Oh, I couldn't. I couldn't possibly.
You could.
I couldn't. He
You
takes
I
a
reach
step back.
out. I reach out towards him.
He looks you over and then reaches out a hand and gingerly takes yours. Give me an athletics check as he shakes your hand. He is shaking with disadvantage. It doesn't matter. That is a crit 24. Give me a... give me a Constitution saving throw to try and prevent yourself from breaking his hand. Yeah, so you grab his hand and he gingerly takes yours, and as he begins to shake your hand, you just grip it and just shake his hand, and you suddenly realize that your hand is compressing too quickly and his fingers are all going to snap, and you stop yourself unless you actively don't.
No, I'll stop myself, of
You
course.
stop yourself from breaking this little man's hand in front of you, and he blows on his hand, wiggling it in front of you, and looks over to Damien and says, "Oh, she's definitely the strongest person I've ever met. Lovely to see you. Blessings be to Torm. Blessings be to Torm. I love Torm, I do. Come on, wife. I'll see you later. Bye." He's moving down the road. He's moving down the road as quick as he can.
I look over at Caval. What
I
did you
look back. I just smirk and keep heading towards our destination.
I don't ask any questions, and I smirk as well. Not sure how I feel, and I just start to follow.
Cool. I mean, you're right outside the tavern now, so you can just about hear the noise inside. There's a big single oaken door in front of you, but it's like an open door an unlocked door that you can easily walk in. There is a sort of greasy, thick with dust, unclean window on one side of it, and then the broken window on the other side.
Is there a sign?
There was an area where it looked like there was a sign, but it looks like the sign is no longer there. The building doesn't look amazing, but then generally no buildings around you do.
I literally just walk straight up to the door and just start pushing the doors open and walk in.
Just bust in.
No questions.
All right, everybody follows?
Yep.
Wait,
Presumably.
this is the bar, right? The tavern?
Looks
I'm not
like-
just breaking into someone's house, am I?
It looks like it from outside, yeah.
Oh, boy. Well,
can you peek
I've
in?
committed.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah.
Cool, yeah. So you bust into this building, hoping it's the Cutlass Inn and Tavern. You open this door, and immediately before you, there's like a main common room. There's a huge corner bar. There's like wine racks and beer kegs piled up behind it. There's like grand wooden beams that run along the ceiling. Tables, stools, and chairs of all sizes sort of adorn the room. Looks like a bit of a mishmash. And then there's a few doors at the back and a stairway that leads upwards. The first thing you'll probably notice as you step through the threshold, the four of you, is that there is a drunken dwarf sat sort of on one side of you on the floor, just beside the doorway, sort of half laid on the wooden flooring. He's fast asleep, but he has got like a flag and a veil on his chest, and it's just going up and down, rising and falling with his breath. Looking at the ale, you'll see that it's almost completely full. It's still frothing a little bit at the top. The tavern itself around you is about 2/3 full, with what appears to be basically pirates and merchants and mercenaries and a few sort of common folk. Practically everybody in here appears to be loud and boisterous. There's a sort of underlying sense of danger with every look that comes your way, but generally people pay you no huge mind as you head in. And almost immediately, as soon as you open the door and each of you steps in, a very tall, burly gentleman with a thick beard and bald head approaches you. He's wearing sort of common clothes, but they sit tight across thick muscles, a stern look on his face, and he says, "I'll have your steel." If you don't mind, you'll get it back. Unless you fail to pay your way, then we might just keep it. And he sort of holds his hands out and gestures towards the swords on anybody's sides, anybody that has any unconcealed weapons, basically.
Does anybody else in the bar look like they have weapons on them except us?
Give me a perception check. Yeah, no, nobody seems to have any weapons on them. It just looks like this is common practice.
Okay. And I think me being in the town, would I have known that?
I doubt it because you haven't been to this bar before.
Okay. I just start slowly kind of like taking out my daggers and little things I have here and there.
Mm-hmm. He lays them on like
I
a
look over
table
at the rest
next to
of them.
him.
I hand over my rapier and then one visible dagger, but kind of keep the rest stored.
Okay, yeah. So you hand over your rapier and not the dagger?
No, and one dagger.
One dagger, but you sort of
Or did
hide one of the others.
Yeah.
Okay. Kiwo?
I don't want to hand over my weapons.
I mean, you of everyone here, I think, has the biggest weapon. Wait, what does Damien have?
I have a great sword as well.
Oh, okay. So both of you have these massive fucking claymores on your back. These like Zweihander two-handed swords. Okay, so you don't want to hand yours over.
No.
Leo?
I give my rapier, but I will conceal a dagger.
Okay, yeah. So he doesn't seem to like even heavily inspect you for the daggers. You seem to both clearly be able to easily conceal these much smaller knives. They're probably mostly concealed anyway, like strapped to an ankle or something. And then he takes each of the swords. He lays them on like a dedicated table behind him, and then looks back up at the paladin and says, "Milady, I don't want no trouble."
Neither do I. I'm keeping my sword.
You must
I look
understand.
over.
Aye, it's as much for your safety as it is for theirs. He points back at the people in the bar. He sort of leans in a little closer and says, "Listen, I understand you're a woman of God, and I'm sure you won't do anything, but if I let you in with a great sword, they'll all be coming in with great swords, and it'll be nothing but blood for weeks."
As he says that, I put my hand on her shoulder, just like she did mine outside. Just lay it down. You'll be fine.
As they're like kind of
Alright.
having this, I kind of look up at him and like kind of scoff
These holy types always up in their own.
and kind of walk away, heading away from the group into the bar.
All right.
Whew. All right then. I'll lay down my greatsword.
All right. So you lay it down, and he sort of like nods at you, and he says, "Thanks very much. Don't make no trouble, outsiders." And he sort of gestures that you can head in. He starts to like move the weapons behind the bar, starts stacking them somewhere underneath the bar. At the bar itself, there's a fairly busty human woman pushing tankards of ale across towards people. She pushes one towards a one-armed halfling, a bandana over his head. He leans over for a kiss, and she slaps him across the face, and not lightly. He sort of falls back on his stool laughing. A fellow pirate sat next to him just cracks up laughing as well, and they drink to his failure. But yeah, generally there's a couple of tables free. There's some stalls at the bar, and there's a bunch of people sat around. What do you guys want to do?
Can I roll a perception check to see and look around for the orc, just to see if I notice a half orc anywhere?
Yeah, go for it. You all can if you want.
Okay.
I ain't seeing shit, so. Damn! Wow!
Damn, Damien. So, Damien, you're looking about. I would say, presumably because you are from very far away, from a very specific Dragonborn tribe, and then you were cloistered away in the towers of keep for a bit. You're not really even too clued up on what a half orc is. You maybe have met a couple, but they can come in all different shapes and sizes. So you're looking about, and there's a couple of huge-looking humans in here that you're like, maybe that's a half orc. That one's ugly enough, but I don't know. Maina, Leo, and Kaval looking around. Everyone in here is human except for the halfling at the bar with one arm and the dwarf with the tankard of ale on his chest next to you, the full tankard.
As they're kind of looking around, am I tall enough to be able to try and slip the tankard off of him and take it for myself?
Yeah, sure. Give me a sleight of hand check.
Okay.
You whip it off of his chest, and he doesn't even he doesn't even or anything. He just he carries on breathing heavily, and you now have a tankard of ale.
I have my ale, and I look at the.
Let's get a table, yeah?
We have a job to do here. Don't forget that.
I know he's got a job, but we need to blend it as well, right? Can't just go about bumping everybody's tables and trying to just bug everyone.
As soon as she says blend in, I look at her, and I just kind of like roll my eyes a little bit because I'm a fucking dragonborn.
I mean, you guys can sit at a table, or you can wander around. You can go to the bar.
There's a lot of filthy people in here. I'd rather get out.
I'll get the
I walk
drinks
up to the
then.
one-armed guy at the bar.
Yeah, the little halfling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't really say anything. I just kind of nudge him with my elbow a little bit to see if I can get his attention, to see if he's actually worth talking to or if he's too drunk.
Yeah, nudging him, he turns to you. Him and his friend were sort of like laughing, and then they sort of go quiet and stern-faced and look over at you, and he goes, "What?"
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt if you were busy.
Yeah, you interrupted, mate. You interrupted. I was having a lovely conversation with my friend here. What, you got a problem?
I have no problem.
Fucking
Do you look
outsiders
like a
coming
person
in
I'd
here.
have a problem with.
He turns to his mate, nudges his mate. Fucking outsiders, eh? Where are you from?
Probably no way you've ever heard of, but
What, are you saying
Can I
I'm
ask you a question?
stupid? He's saying I'm stupid.
I'm not saying you're stupid. Can I roll a perception check after I say, I think that you need to calm down, for an intimidation check? But I don't say it like super aggressive, but I say it like I know, like I'm like really trying to get the point across, like you need to calm down.
Yeah, go for it. Give me an intimidation check, because he's sort of gearing up. He's starting to sort of goad you a little bit. He backs down so massively that this guy can be nothing but an extreme yellow-bellied coward. He actually sits down, sits straight, looks you in the eye and says, "Sorry, mate, I was only joking. Please, how can I help?"
Oh, no reason to be worried. I'm not here to cause any problems, and nor are any of the people I'm with back here. We're looking for someone, and I'd like to know if you can help me and, well, all of them. And I look back at everybody else, and I kind of wave them slowly over.
Yeah, what is everyone else doing at this point? Did the halfling go and grab a table?
Well, no, okay. I stroll up, since everybody kind of just stood there as I suggested it. Kind of stroll up to him and look at the other halfling and kind of smirk.
How's it going there, mate?
He looks down at you and just says, "All right, love?
I'm alright.
You're looking mighty fine, I must say."
Oh yeah. I just had a bath last week, so it kind of helps a bit.
He looks down at the tankard in your hand and says, "I ain't never seen you round here before. I ain't even seen you in here today. I didn't see you go up to the bar."
I'm a bit of a sly one, yeah?
Did you nick it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I look over from the edge because I'm kind of paying attention. I just kind of like shake my head.
Give me a deception check. Yeah. You got to beat a 7. He goes, "Oh, all right. I must just be a bit more drunk than I thought." He looks across the rest of you. Did Leo and Kaval walk up to the bar?
I still have my cloth against my face and like cautiously stand in the background trying to be where the least amount of people are. Just like look around and like dodge people walking next to me. Like shit.
All right, yeah. So you're just kind of like cautiously stood back.
Yeah, I just want to get out. Like I'll yeah.
Kaval?
I wanted to order some drinks.
All right, yeah. I mean, as you approach the bar, if you approach to like the other end, then the barmaid will head over towards you. God, I will learn your names in like 2 weeks. Okay, 2 weeks is my promise before I'm not stumbling over everyone's names. Damien, while you first start speaking to the halfling, the busty barmaid sort of heads over to the other end of the bar where Kaval heads on up and polishing a tankard. She walks over and says, "Lovely to meet you. There, knight. Are you a knight? I mean, how can I help?"
Water. 4, please.
She
None for me.
She leans in a little closer and says, "The water's a little dirty. I strongly recommend a mead. It's probably the cleanest thing we've got. I do apologise."
All right then. 4.
4 coming right up. She gets to pouring. Back at the like a couple of feet down the bar, the halfling looks back towards the dragonborn, the one-armed halfling. Bandana over his head. Underneath, there's a few tufts of like brown hair sticking out, like he's been in the bar for a few hours already, even though it's maybe only about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And he looks up at the dragonborn, still completely locked with fear on that crit 1 roll. And he, you wanted some information, I think. So he just kind of looks at you expectantly.
I look at him and I just say, no, again, just don't worry. I'm not going to hurt you. I don't know. You seem to be trembling. Is he trembling? He's trembling.
Let's see. Let's give him a con save. Oh, he is trembling so bad. Yeah, he's on. His friend sat behind him, a human, super skinny again. Like he's just sat there in like little more than like dungarees and a straw hat. Like he looks a little bit bleary-eyed from lack of intelligence, more so than the alcohol, and he's just kind of looking down at his halfling friend, and he just looks perplexed that this guy is even scared at all. Like it's never happened before. But the halfling's sort of trembling, somewhat looking towards you.
I just need to know a very simple question. Have there been any half-orcs wandering about, meandering in the city or in this bar?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, there's a couple that come in.
Do you think they're still here anywhere close?
Give me a persuasion check, because he starts to look around him a little bit. You have to beat a 10, yes. He says, well, who are you looking for exactly? Because there's 2 or 3 in town. A couple of them come here quite a lot.
Did we ever get a name? We got a name, didn't we?
No, you didn't.
No, we didn't get a name, did we?
I highly recommend you guys, by the way, that this be the type of game where we actually take notes. Because the lack of combat
good to know. Hold on.
will lead to more like investigatory adventures like this. So taking notes, names and like important places and things like that can sometimes be useful on campaigns like this.
When's the last time you saw the orc?
He looks up and says, well, come in most nights, depending on who you're looking for. It's about midday, 1 o'clock.
So you think that they could potentially be here later on tonight?
Give me another persuasion check, 'cause he starts looking around again. Ooh. Makes it, breaks it, so yeah, I'll allow it. He rolled an 18 too. He kind of shiftily like looks about and says, "Listen, right, you didn't get it from me, but quite frankly, you're probably the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. Right, there's this one that comes in every night, and he's always here every night. The leader of the Willy Boys.
The what?
He's a gang. It's a gang in town called the Willy Boys. He's the leader. big old half orc. His name's Olog.
Olog, you said?
Yeah.
Olog.
Listen, he's right scary though. Please don't tell him that I said anything. It's just please, I just don't want you to like bite me or like turn me into
I
an
look
egg.
down at him and I kind of get close as he's saying that, shaking, and I just look at him and I kind of smile. I'm like, is he as scary as me?
Give me an intimidation check. And that's his second crit 1 on an intimidation check. He, as you like lean in and you say, "Is he as scary as me?" The halfling with one arm just passes out and falls off the back of his chair. Boom, hits the ground. Everyone, there's like a roar, like laughter. Everybody cracking up, laughing, and this halfling is just on the ground, passed out from fear right now.
I just laugh. I'm just laughing really hard because to me it's the funniest thing ever. So I'm laughing with everybody else.
The burly sort of barman who greeted you at the door kind of looks up sharply as if something's going on, like some sort of fight is breaking out, and he goes, "I thought I said no trouble. Didn't I say no trouble?"
And is he kind of looking my direction?
He's shouting down the bar to you, yeah. He's
I look over
sat
and
at the far end of the bar.
I walk over to him very calmly, like nothing's happening. And I just I look at him, I'm like, would you like to know what just happened?
No.
Well, I can promise you that there's no problem, but that guy fell out of his chair because he's very drunk.
Okay.
Are you still concerned?
He looks up and once again looks over towards the paladin and then looks back at you and then says, "I just like to shout it sometimes. It keeps them all at bay."
Fair enough.
While they're having their conversation, since he's now fallen to the ground, the dear lad, can I kind of lean down as if I'm going to kind of check on him and like have part of my like cloak kind of fall down and try to like rifle his pockets?
Give me a stealth check and a sleight of hand check.
Oh wow.
You like checking on him, like his like kind of dumb looking friend above you just looks down and goes, "Is he all right?"
Yeah, I think he'll be right.
All right. And then he just turns back to the bar and sits. Rifling through his pockets, you find a dagger and 15 silver pieces and 5 copper pieces.
All right.
And they're yours now. Back at the other end of the bar, the woman brings some drinks over, puts 4 tankards of mead down in front of everyone, pushes one over to, for fuck's sake, Caval. Caval. And she says, "So what brings you fine people in town?" A kind of glimpse over as well towards, fucking hell, Leo.
Hello there.
Oh, what brings us over? This gentleman, Leo. Yes, he's you're the charismatic one, aren't you? Entertainer of sorts. Yeah. We're just traveling
A
with
bard.
him.
Thank you.
You must be a
The
right.
bard.
A right
I don't know how you
special,
knew that, but thanks.
You must be a right special bard to have your own personal knight escort.
Yes.
No, just a fan. We have business in town. How much was it again? How much for the drinks?
Give me a deception check first,
Ah.
because you lied to her, and she nods, like maybe the very corner of her lips like curves upwards, and she says, "That'll be 4 silver."
I've only got gold.
Can I try to like talk her down the price?
Yeah.
Okay. What is it? Persuasion?
What are you saying?
Well, I think that is way too much for this mead.
Give me a persuasion check. Beat a 15. She says, "Oh, you're right. Yeah, for people, such fine people as yourselves, a world-renowned bard and a knight, a super fan. Aye, you're right. I suppose we can make it 20 copper. 2 silver. So you can hand over a gold, Kiwo, and she'll give you change.
Okay. I'll hand over 1 gold coin.
All right, she hands 8 silver back, and she looks back at the bard and says, I don't suppose you're here to play tonight. Seems a little bit below your station.
Well, if you were paying, I might. Seeing as there's a crowd.
She looks over at the big burly dude who just finished his conversation with the Dragonborn, and he just shakes his head. She says, I don't think we can afford a bard of your caliber here. We've got a little guy that comes in, plays a few songs. They don't seem to care, so probably would be a waste of your time.
Probably, yes.
She goes back to cleaning a little tankard.
All right. While they're kind of talking, I kind of toss my now empty first tankard and pick up and start working on my second one.
So you make a start
happily
on number
just
2.
kind of storing my things. Yep.
Yeah.
Can I just slide mine over to her? Because I really don't want it.
Oh, come on now, Mr. Bard. You play us a song.
I walk back over, and I slide my drink to whoever's drinking because I'm not gonna drink.
The halfling.
Yep.
Slide it to the
I can
halfling.
just push all our drinks over to the halfling.
All right.
It's more fun for me then.
So
Yeah, you there, bud. Come on, play us a song.
Have you seen this crowd?
What's the matter with them?
I played for kings. Little halfling.
What
This is
king? Did you
Is
play
we not
for?
good enough for you?
I just
The
roll
king-
my eyes.
the king of the high forest, of course.
What's his name?
Frank. Can I roll it? Can I lie?
no, you
I
can
roll?
roll persuasion because that's true.
Yeah. Oh, there we
That's
go.
true now. You
Wait, his name's Frank?
there is a King Frank of the High Forest, and Leo actually earned his name by playing for King Frank of the High Forest. So that was actually one of his. That was like his make it big gig.
All right, persuade me.
You roll an insight. Either way, you're going to believe him though. So.
Very well. You remember what we talked about outside? I'm not
I
threatening.
do.
I'm saying this because maybe we could use your skills to get a little more
Listen
insight
here.
into the information in here.
Look,
Are you
you,
drunk?
if you, well, I don't know what you. Listen, all right, listen. I haven't listened. All right, if we're gonna fit in with these people and get information and do whatever the hell we're meant to be doing, you gotta pull the stick out of your ass, there, Mr. Bard.
This is
play
what
a
I was
song.
going to say.
Play a song.
If you play for them,
you're
maybe
so
they'll like it.
long-winded.
Why don't you sing 'em that one
Will we
about
get
the-
out of here quicker?
Perhaps. Once I finish these drinks.
As they said that, and as everything's going on, I look over at the bartender or the whoever it was, and I was like, "Don't worry, you don't have to pay him anything. He's gonna play for everybody in here right now." And I slam my fist on the bar and I hit it as loud as I can, and I'm like, "Everybody in here!" And then I don't even say anything. I just point at the bar.
Way! The roar goes up. Everyone's clapping and waiting for a song.
Alrighty. Okay then. Is there a place for me to go up, or do I just like kind of stand there?
Yeah, no, there's a platform where bards go up and sing. There's a stall up on there.
Uh,
Oh, did
can
you
head
find us
on
a
up.
table, halfling?
Yeah, it's over here in the corner.
He's
And I
drunk.
kind of like stumble like with a tankard in each hand.
Yeah, you have 4, right? 4 drinks, and you're on number 2. So yeah,
Here it goes.
you stumble over, and the you 3 can sit down. The bard heads up undoes his loot case and pulls out a lute and sits on the stool. I mean, Pony, it's up to you. You can play an actual song if you want.
No. Yeah, I'm prepared.
All
I thought
right.
this might happen.
All right, and then there is a slight hush as the bard the bard prepares.
No pressure. Okay. I look around the room, all eyes on me, and fucking Leo loves it.
Hmm.
Rosie was a girl. Her voice was yet to be heard. In darkness she slumbers alone. Her life was short and easily spoiled. She could have been a singer. She could have been a queen. Things we'll never know. But this is how the story goes. Her mother cries with anger, asking what she has done wrong. This faith is for the sinner. Rose was an angel unborn, and she could have been a mother. She could have lived so free, but now she sleeps forever. Rosie, rest in peace.
Roll me a performance check. 23. Leo performed it almost as well as Pony did there on a 23, and the bar erupts in a raucous round of applause. Everybody loves it. All the pirates are going crazy. There are tankards lifted in the air. There are women dropping their panties and throwing them at the bard on stage, and everybody in chat needs to go and follow Pony Punch because that is why his stream is so damn good. Congratulations
I
on
just
the
look
sub.
like a... I just keep my smirk on my face and leave the stage, I guess.
Cool.
And
yeah.
I just go up and ask, can we leave now?
As you sort of return to the table and there's a bunch of clapping and stuff, we hear from the back of the room, "Who the fuck took my fucking drink?" And then there's a boom boom as you hear two fists smash down on a table, and as you turn and look around, the dwarf has stood up by the door and is peering around the room, looking about to try and find whoever it was that stole the drink. And I feel like this is a good time to go to a break. As the halfling looks abashed. And yeah, we'll be back in a couple
Next
of
time
minutes.
on the Wolves of Water.
Next time on the Wolves of Water. I think we've still got an hour or so. We'll go to a break, and then upon the return, we will conclude this little bit. Thanks, Pony, for that amazing song. We'll see you all in a couple of minutes. the Wolves of Water. And
Leo
when
and the
we-
gang.
when we last left off, the gang were in the Cutlass Inn and Tavern. They just sat down. They had seen our bard Leo Stringard play a wonderful rendition of what is that song called?
I don't fucking know.
Rosie?
Rose. Yeah, say Rosie. That works.
It was no, you're wrong. It's called the King of the High Forest, King Frank of the High Forest. It was a song that he wrote for King Frank of the High Forest. And then suddenly a dwarf stands up and bangs on a table, and he's going to look around the room. And I'm going to roll on the screen so you don't think I'm bullshitting you for this one.
Also, at the
What?
as I kind of hear him like kind of do the ruckus, can I just kind of like slip my hood up and kind of slip down beneath like the table and kind of like hide?
Yeah. He's gonna insight check the room to see if he can work out who stole his drink. Give me a deception check. You have to beat an 11
Okay.
as you slink down. Oh, nice. Oh no, not Leo.
Oh shit! Sorry, I thought everyone
Jeez.
would. Oh.
So like looking around the room, he suddenly sees one person slink down in a chair and lift a hood up, and he goes, "Oi, you!" Starts moving across the bar towards you. Dum, dum, dum.
As he's starting to move across the bar, I just I break off from the guy that's there, and I just kind of stand in front of him as he's walking, and I don't look aggressive or anything like that. I'm just like, hey, how are you?
He looks aggressive.
like,
He's like
as-
red-faced.
I see him coming back. I jump.
Oh yes. Have you seen my glasses? I see they fell down, and I can't see where they are. Damien, do you see? Can you see if you see my glasses?
And I kind of like stumble around, like patting the ground, trying to like look as if I can't see anything.
He says, "Get out of my way, Scaleskin."
Pardon me?
That's when I stand up and get behind Damien.
He looks up at you and says, "Yeah, that's right. She knows. Stealing's wrong, ain't it, Paladin?"
I have an idea. What do you think has happened here? You think someone stole something from you?
She stole my drink, pointing down. At
As
the
he says
halfling.
that, I look over at the bartender. I'm like, bartender, 2 drinks.
The bartender gives you a nod and hastily starts pouring drinks, and he says, "Oi, it ain't about the drinks. It's about the principle of theft. I don't agree with it."
All right, well, and I look over at the bartender. I go, bartender, 2 more drinks. And I look over at the dwarf, and I just catch eyes with them.
Give me
Yes or
a
no?
give me like a persuasion check, a sort of performancey persuasion check. You have to
Oh,
beat a
great.
9, a 5. He goes, "Listen, you stay out of this. This is between me and the thieving little halfling."
I ain't
Sadly,
stole
it's not
nothing.
between-
I'm just down here looking for my glasses. I can't even see your face, mister.
Give me a persuasion check. You got to beat a 16. Nice. He goes. He sort of stumbles a moment and goes, "Oh, I thought you was like slinking down under the table because like I thought basically I shouted that, and then you was like trying to hide from me. I didn't know you was just looking for your glasses. Oi, by the way, do you know who stole my drink? Because I'm gonna knife him."
There's that man up there that passed out drunk on the floor. He looked like he might have had a couple extra drinks.
It was him.
No.
It was him what done it.
Yeah, he told us. Yeah, he told us. He was
Yeah.
bragging.
Give me persuasion checks. You got to beat a 7. You both get advantage because you're both doing it. Yeah, the dwarf just stomps over, dum 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 dum. Suddenly he pulls out a little knife, dum dum dum, and just drives it into the little halfling's neck on the ground. The big old burly dude at the end of the bar stands up. Suddenly everyone in the bar goes kind of quiet. A couple of people kind of stop in like horror and shock, and then the big burly dude goes running over, and you see him bring the knife out. The halfling actually wakes up briefly and goes, "Oh!" The blood runs out and pours out across the ground. The big burly dude runs over and grabs the dwarf from behind wrenches the knife out of his hand. The dwarf puts his hands up and goes, "Oi, no, look, listen, right? He ain't allowed to thief." And the big burly dude's like, "Right, that's it, you're out. I'll be reporting you to the guard. This is the 4th murder this week." Drags him towards the door, and he's like, "No, mate, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't fucking do it. That's how I didn't fucking." Drags him out, and they fly out of the door together.
Can I turn to Maina and raise my hand up as like a high five?
Yeah.
Can I
Yeah,
intercept?
okay, I do that.
Can I intercept?
I mean, you just got an innocent man killed, so.
Yeah, but like they were scrubs. Fuck it, I'm from Neverwinter. Okay. I raise my hand as a high five
God.
towards Maina and await response.
Do you high five? Maina?
You're muted. You're muted. She hasn't learned this yet.
Oh.
I just kind of look away and kind of.
What's
I just look at his hand, look away. Like, I just don't want to be associated. I'm in a bit of a
I
shock.
high five myself.
The door slams and the big burly dude comes back in, sort of dust in his hands. He walks over towards the halfling's body, lifts him up, puts him onto one shoulder, nods at the barmaid, and then heads out the door. As soon as the door closes, the bar kicks back in. Everyone just carries on with their conversation as if nothing has happened. The barmaid heads behind the bar, pulls out a bucket and a mop, heads over and starts sweeping, washing the blood off the floor. If anybody takes the time to look in the bucket of water, you'll see it's already red with blood.
This is when Kaval decides to leave the bar, collect her great sword, and just wait outside.
Okay, yeah. So
This is
you,
too much. But I have nothing to say to my companions.
yeah, you head over to the bar. The barwoman just nods at you to take your sword back. She watches that you don't take anything else, but she's pretty convinced that you won't. You grab your great sword. You head outside, heading down towards the southern road back where you came from. Is the burly dude? He's got the halfling body on his back in the distance.
Christ. Can I just wait outside the door, just resting both my hands on my great sword with my back against the wall next to the front door to the tavern, and I shall wait for my companions
All right.
here.
Yeah, so we see this sort of big paladin just sort of cotched up against the wall outside, just utterly exasperated and not too sure what to make of the fact that she was sort of very closely involved with a sort of murder. And then, back inside the bar, there's a grinning, now chaotic evil bard, apparently, and I guess
like scrubs.
I guess some sort of neutral halfling, and then I don't know how the Dragonborn looks right now. Probably a little shocked.
I am just kind of sitting there, just kind of like not surprised over anything that just happened. Everything seems very like, this is something I feel like I've definitely seen before.
This looks like the type of bar where something like that would be commonplace. Though
It did say it was the 4th this week.
Yeah, it's the type of thing where it's like super commonplace. Though usually it's probably like fist fights and things. There's going to be the odd absolute psycho. But yeah, everyone just kind of goes back to their business as if this is just a typical thing to happen at 1:30 in the afternoon on a Wednesday.
I think that we should potentially, well, wait. And I look around, some more, and I look around even a little more, and where's Calvary? I mean, Cavalier. What's that name? What does she go by?
The giant woman went outside, I believe.
What was her name?
I don't know.
How do you say it properly?
Kavela? Maybe
Camel.
I think that we should come back here later tonight.
Camel. Camel sounds
think it's
really
camel.
close to it. Yeah, camel.
Camel.
Okay, and Camel it is, and I need to lodge in my head that we're gonna call her Camel next time I see her.
I swear to God.
I just kind of like look around again real quick, and I muster up again. I'm just like, I think that coming back here later tonight would be a good idea.
Yeah. I think that'll be good. Everybody's calm down a bit.
We could go back to the inn that I'm staying at.
Yeah, so let's get some rest.
All right, so do you all head out?
Yeah.
Little
Yeah.
halfling's still
I'm,
got two
trying to chug
drinks.
down my I'm trying to
powering him
drink
down?
down my and,
Yeah,
like,
give me a con save.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
See how drunk you are.
I've been here before.
Yeah, no, you kind of get pretty pissed at this point. You're just a bit like, way, the world starts to spin. You stand up, the stall falls down behind you. You laugh it off and struggle to stumble across to the door.
Come on now, boys. Let's get out of here. Yeah.
You'll have disadvantage on practically every check for a little while. Roll me D4. For an hour, you're kind of blind drunk, and you'll have disadvantage on all sorts of checks. So while this is all going on, just outside the door, there is a paladin woman stood there. From your right, down on the ground, there's a little sewer grate, and you hear this little voice speak up to you, Caval, and it says,
Hello.
And I look down to the grate. Hi, how
Two-
can I help?
two little yellow eyes once again peer up at you, and he says,
I desire a banana.
Well, we're on the street with all the market stalls, right?
Have you ever had a banana?
Can't say I have.
I desire a banana very much.
What's in it for me?
A special gift?
Can I look around the area? Are there fruit stalls and the like around, or
give me a perception-y check, please.
a perception-y check?
Perception-y. Yeah, looking around, there is no banana stalls around, and you can't remember there being one along the bottom road.
I'm afraid I can't help you.
Oh, this is a sad time. I found a banana skin, and I ate it, but I think inside there was something else. I want it. I want a banana.
I understand this, but I cannot help you.
There's a glimmer of light from just underneath the grate, and he says,
I give you this special gift. You bring me a banana to this grate. I wait here.
So be it. I'm a little taken aback by what exactly is happening right now. I just witnessed a murder. There's a strange voice coming from the sewer grates, and I just need a moment to process. By Tom, what is happening to me right now? What is life?
and then the door opens and your compatriots head out, one of them stumbling quite heavily.
Hello, celery. What are you doing out here?
I guess you're finished inside then, Damien.
Yes. Would you like to come back with us, celery? Right? Correct.
Caval.
I look
The
over.
little one.
I look over at both Leon and the drunk, and I just I let out this really big, almost acidy, growl because I'm so annoyed that they told me her name was Celery, even though that's not even what they told me.
Wait,
And
are
I'm
you
just,
talking to
super
Campbell?
disappointed.
Come on, yeah, come
You're
on,
not
let's
here,
go.
Campbell.
They told me your name was Celery. I'm sorry.
It's Caval.
Camel. Camel.
Yeah, come,
Carmel.
yeah.
I just rest my head in my hands and just.
Come on, Camel, boys,
Can
let's
I-
go.
Can I
Well, we're going.
bend down and scoop up the halfling under my arm? Because she's
Mhm.
quite clearly too drunk to walk.
Yeah, give me a strength check. Do you try and resist in any way, Maina?
I feel like I'm drunk to the point.
Let's just do it.
I'm just kind of like
It's just let it
slumping
happen.
her.
Just let it happen.
Easy.
You're gonna be all right. I'll take good care of you. And I just scoop her up underneath my arm.
Yeah.
Follow
Damien,
me.
did you learn anything?
Excuse me. What do you mean? What did,
Well, we
what are
came
you?
here for.
What did I learn? What
We came here for a reason, did we not?
Years? Are you asking me if is this a? Are you being smart, Alec, as they say with me right now, because you can pick her up so easily?
No. I'm merely trying to assist her because we need to.
Hmm.
We need to leave this place. I
You
was.
smell nice.
Thank you. I know how to bathe.
Follow me.
I was. All right then.
And I just turn around and I just start walking towards the inn I was staying at. I say nothing else.
And again, my free hand, I just to my head, and follow after Damien.
All right, which way are you going? You have 4 crossways, literally like north, east,
You're a
southwest
bastard,
kind
Brent.
of thing. Like bum bum.
I know
bum,
you
bum.
way too well for this. I'm gonna go ahead and say that we're going down. And if everybody's okay with this, I'm gonna go ahead and say we're going this way.
Yeah.
If you can see it on the map.
Oh,
can we draw the map?
Yeah.
I'm pointing towards like the
If you click on the sort of
direction.
ruler button, I'm sorry, chat as well. You can't see this,
yeah.
but there's a little ruler
Yeah, okay.
that you can click and it does things. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going which way?
This way.
Okay, so at the bottom right. Okay, yeah.
That seem good?
Yeah.
I think we should walk this way.
We'll
and
say
then
that's east. I know that it's not
Okay.
quite, but we'll say that's
east. East and then north.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All
That's
right.
a terrible
I'm
final
fine, I'm
decision,
fine.
but I'm making it.
All right. So you'll
I
head.
just want to get out of here.
Yeah, you'll head just sort of east towards this great big wall that marks the edge of town, and you're walking along. Kaval, give me a perception check, please.
And there you are. Boop.
16. You see the woman who had the dolls dragging a bag behind her, a little sack behind her, and in one hand she's holding a bunch of bananas. She's just walked across the road in front of you.
Oh, can I call out for her?
Sure.
Beggar woman.
She wasn't a beggar, she was a market stall owner.
Oh, wait, whatever.
Poor person.
She turns back and says, "Here you're calling a beggar woman. Oh, lovely. Oh, absolutely lovely to see you there." And she walks over with this, dragging this sack behind her, and a bunch of bananas under one arm. She looks up and says, "And blessings to Torm, of course."
Of course, blessings to you too. Can I ask, what is it that you have there?
"This is me bag of dolls. Would you like to buy one?" And she opens the sack and starts dragging out all these horrible-looking, poorly made voodoo doll-esque things, just scraps of hair. Looks like real hair sewn into it, and just old buttons. They look like sack boys, but way worse and not cute. They're just all different, dressed up. Some dressed up in little dresses and suits and things, and she's just going through them all. "Which one would you like, my dear?"
No, the other hand.
"This is a banana, dear."
How much for one?
"Are you trying to take me food? I mean,
No,
I love
I'll pay.
I love Torm. You'll pay. How much will you be paying there for one of these here bananas here?"
Well, how much is it you need?
"These are 5 gold each."
Oh. Oh.
Can I try to persuade her? Do I hear this, or did she
Hey,
just walk up to her?
Is that a character right now? You cheeky bitch.
Yeah, Leo, you give me a perception.
bitch.
Give me a perception check.
I'm talking in an accent all night tonight.
Wait, what did you say? Perception? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, you hear it. Now give me an insight check to see if you know how much a banana is worth. They're pretty rare. All the way this far north.
Shit, I shouldn't have drunk beer. What?
Insight.
To
work out if she's lying.
There we go.
Yeah, so she's blatantly lying. These are obviously like quite a rare import, but this is a port town. This is all they do is bring in imported stuff from far away, so it's really not that big of a deal that it's here, even though it is kind of a rare thing, and maybe you'd be interested in having one because you might not have ever had one in Neverwinter. But they're definitely not worth 5 gold. Not here, not in Luskan.
Can I try to bring just walk up and be like, these Luskan bananas are not worth nothing in Luskan be worth this price. Nothing.
Nothing can be worth this prize.
Nothing, not even a house.
Give me a persuasion check. I feel like this is going to happen every single time you buy something. You're just going to send the bard in to just out persuasion roll me every time.
Dude, I am so persuaded. I have so much charisma. Okay.
Yeah. She says,
You got me there. I was just joking, of course. I'm a sort of comedian on the side. And, yes, no, you can have one of these here bananas for 1 gold. That's the price I paid for it.
Talk to me like that. For
You're a comedian, you say?
Yes, I'm a comedian. That's right.
You should stop.
give me an intimidation check. She starts crying. It's awful. she falls to the ground. The bananas land on her lap. She lets go of the sack. Some of the dolls spill across the ground, and she just falls and collapses into a puddle on the ground. I've been a comedian for 75 years.
I thought you sold dolls.
I do.
Did she say 75?
75 years I've been a
How
comedian.
old are you?
How are you not funny by now?
You don't ask women her age.
I come down to her and I just lean down to her and I put my arm around her if she allows me to.
Yeah, she's just destroyed, yeah.
And I just I bring her in for like a real tight hug and I just he doesn't understand. He's I don't really know a good way to put this. He's kind of arrogant. And you'll have to ignore him. And I'm
As they're
whispering
having
this into her
this-
ear, by the way, so no one else can hear it.
As they're having this touching moment, can I start to retch?
Start to retch. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yes.
You start retching in the
Someone hit my
background.
arm.
In the yeah, you're in the arms
Can
of
I-
a paladin.
Can I cover her mouth?
Yeah, you can cover her mouth as she starts to retch. So Tiger, give me a persuasion check, and Kitty, give me a con save.
What is? Mm, what
This
is
is all
it?
going to
Just a-
happen at the same time. So, at the exact same time, the old lady, as she's embraced by this great big dragonborn, calms down very quickly and sort of nuzzles into him and says, "Well, I've never been with a dragonborn before." And then suddenly, there is this torrent of puke straight down the front of Kaval's armor. It puddles in one of your boots, in one of your God, I can't remember what they're called, but the big old knightly boots that are armored, and it
I feel better.
a lot of it on a 5 just runs straight down your front. Yeah, Maina feels a lot better. You don't
I
have
just
disadvantage.
drop her. I drop her like a sack of potatoes. and
All
just-
right, Maina, give me a dex save.
Gee, what's the job before, lady?
Give me a dex save. See if you can land on your feet.
All right.
That's not good enough. You land on your face. You should be much more dexterous than that. That must have been like a 3 or something. You you just land on your face. Give me a D4 again. If this is bad enough, you're gonna break a nose. Yeah. You just you're all in a flash. The old lady leans in for a kiss with the dragonborn, and the halfling pukes up and then is immediately dropped on her face, breaking her nose. You take
Wait,
you
can
take
we go
one.
back for her? Did you say she's trying to kiss me?
Yeah, she's leaning in for a kiss.
All right.
She sees
All
that big snake-like dragonborn tongue, and she comes in for it. And mainly you take 1 HP of damage on a 4 or a 1. There, it was going to be a nose break, so I'm sorry, but because a 4 would have been enough damage, and a 1 is a crit 1. And so you can reduce your current hit points by 1. Not that it's a huge deal at the moment, but maybe.
Sorry.
And
Sorry.
the paladin's covered in sick. The old woman leans in for a kiss with the dragonborn. What do you do?
While she's leaning in for the kiss, I turn cheek so she kisses my cheek.
Give me a dex save.
Oh,
Got to beat a 12. Or she's gonna tongue you.
Oh.
Makes it, breaks it. You just managed to get. I'll give it to you as you'll make it.
Oh God, you
You
give it to me instead of
just-
her?
You just get your face out of the way. She sort of kisses the very edge of your like lip, and this this very dry, papery lips just come in, and then you feel a tongue like attached to the side of your face for a moment, and she licks some of your white scales. I think you have some white scales on the side of your face, right? And and then she turns back and says, "So you're a private type, are you? I'll take you to my house." And she picks up the bag and starts to stand up and says, "Follow me if you will, big boy." She slaps you on your scaly butt.
Um, I look back at the others, and I'm not like, I don't look like scared or anything. I'm just super confused because being a little backstory, being the person I have absolutely no clue what she wants to do with me.
Wait,
So
can I
to
just...
me, like I'm just like, "Well, what is at your house?"
Okay, yeah. What are you doing, Leo?
Can I just persuade him like it's gonna be free if we stay there, rather if we go to the inn? Just can we all stay there, Miss? I'm sorry what I said, but can we all stay at your place?
She looks up at you and says, "You no." She's
Can
disgusted.
I
by it.
raise my hand and just
Can I? Or can I? Okay, fine.
What do you want to say?
can you bring back one of those bananas?
She just
When
throws
you're
the whole
done,
bunch at
Damien.
you.
Oh,
And grabs the Dragonborn's hand and just says, "You can stay at my house for free, of course, but only you. I'm not into anything weird."
Can I persuade her?
Yeah, give me a persuasion. Give me a persuasion with disadvantage.
Okay.
You have to beat an 18.
No trouble.
Yeah, she looks at you and says, "I'm not into that sort of thing," and then she winks.
Well, then we save gold. Okay, let's me neither.
All right. Does everybody
back.
go?
Can
Uh,
I like reach up and like grab on to Leo's like pants? That's what I'm like smearing blood on him.
Oh.
As
I
she's-
strongly push her away.
as the old lady's got my arm,
Mhm.
and as I'm sitting there, I look back at the others. And I'm like, we should probably go back to my inn. I'm not sure if I should go with you.
No. We totally. This is free. Listen,
We're in the middle of something.
much cheaper.
We can
Much
go
cheaper.
back to your inn if you'd like.
Yes, you can. Well, what do you want to come back with us for?
She like puts a hand on your thigh. "You're so funny. You should be the comedian, not me."
And I'm still. I look down at her and I just raise an eyebrow and I'm so confused
Mhm.
and I have no clue what's going on. I'm just like, I don't think that we can continue to talk right now. And I just kind of like, I look at her and I come down, I get like on one knee real quick to her, and I'm just like, I apologize if anything I've done is offending you. And I just stand up and I walk away from her and I just start walking back towards the inn.
She looks on and says, "Every feckin' time."
Yeah, and I follow Tiger. I'm like, fuck it then.
You would have
Is
had to pleasure the old woman to stay there for free.
The cougars of water.
The like 85-year-old woman who's been a comedian since 10. And
And not funny yet.
you guys head away. You start moving up the road. We've got a little halfling with a broken nose. We've got a paladin with some sick down her front.
and a bunch of bananas
and a bunch of
under my
bananas in
arm.
one hand. So you can go ahead and add a bunch of bananas to your equipment. There's a little plus sign underneath the items and stuff, and you can just add a bunch of bananas. So you remember for like next week. It helps me remember when I'm checking stuff as well if I have to. And you start like heading back up towards the top of the city where there's like a slightly better inn. It's known as, let me remember what it's called, the Seven Sails Inn. So you start heading towards the Seven Sails Inn. As you sort of exit the slummy kind of area, the city sort of improves, but not very much. It's only a minor improvement. You move through an area that's like quite heavy. Okay, you've added a bunch of bananas as a weapon there. and we'll. So you've added that.
I'm drunk right now.
You've added.
Okay.
It's all right. It's all right. Don't worry. It's just.
Oh,
We'll deal with it next time. But it could be that I give you a bunch of bananas as a weapon forever.
Please don't just leave it. And please
I think I think I might set it up now as an item, which is like a weapon. So I'll hook that up, and the group start moving through the city. What we'll do, we'll close here because Tiger needs to go and stream. We screwed up all of our times, and I apologize. It's my fault.
Don't
No,
apologize.
this is a good time. This is a good time, though.
Yeah. So we'll end this session here. One last little sort of scene, I guess we'll see just before the end. There, we'll see. I guess you guys. What we'll do is we'll just say that you guys spend some time in the room that Tiger has. Unless there was anything you specifically want to do in the inn, we can just sort of fast forward to nighttime and pick up there next week. Unless there was anything specific you were going to do in the time.
No, I feel fine with that.
Yeah. Okay. So during that time, they just kind of chill out, maybe get to know each other a little bit, and just discuss the day's events. It's been crazy. Oh man, that guy got murdered. It was insane. There was a little pair of eyes, and that's why I got these bananas.
Great.
We almost had to fuck that old lady. And then.
We?
Yeah, it would have been all of you. You were all invited back for just this huge. So like you guys are all just cotched up in like this like Premier Inn
Am
somewhere.
I still covered in sick?
Yeah, you totally are. Until you find a way to clean yourself. We're gonna be playing like some pretty down to the specifics games here because we don't need to. We're RPing everything, so we're going to stick to what you have and everything like that. It's going to be pretty,
Jesus
pretty strict.
Christ.
So you just have these horrible sick covered things, and you'll have to find a way to clean them next week, basically. So you've got a week to think of that.
Thank you.
And the last thing we see as the sun sort of starts to set on the horizons along the coast, we see this like door open up and a very weird like outpost kind of shed looking thing opens up, and this halfling walks out. He's got all this like super pirate garb on. He's got a big old fur coat around him, far too big for him, clearly been stolen off of someone larger than him, dragging in the dirt behind him, followed by a very sort of haggard looking older woman. She sort of looks, I guess, a bit like a witch, but really you can tell she's just like a very aged pirate. She's covered in scars, and she walks out. She's got a little vial in her hands, and she's sipping something from it. Looks very weird, like a weird brown substance, and she's heading out behind them, very slick, greasy hair, unmoving in the night wind. And then behind the two of them, the last person heads out. It's a half orc. He's absolutely massive. He's only got one eye, and he's got like 3 teeth in the front of his head. He's sort of wearing this sort of barbaric looking set of clothing, similar to something your barbarian friends probably had back at home, Damien. And he heads out. On his back he's got these 2 long swords like crossed over like fucking Leonardo from the Turtles, and he's laughing and heading down the road with his 2 friends as they head towards the Cutlass just after dusk. And that is when we will end the first episode of The Walls of War. Thank you very much, guys. Congratulations, you're all alive.
Barely.
We did it.
I mean,
Sorry,
someone
I
did
break
break
your
their nose,
nose.
so.
Yeah, I mean, someone died, but, you know, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't us.
Yeah, that's all that matters, right?
Scrubs.
Yeah, the scrubs. What we'll do is we'll do some quick shout outs because I don't need to go, Tiger, but I think what we'll do is we'll go around and just everybody say who you are. I guess, Tiger, you are streaming now, so we'll start with you.
My name is Tiger Rider. I am a full-time broadcaster entertainer on Twitch. It is nice to meet you. I do this full-time, Saturday through Wednesdays, right around now. Thanks for coming out and hanging out with us, and really, that was really fun. Thank you guys, everybody else too.
It was a lot of
just
fun.
met.
Yeah, it was
Thank
a
you.
blast.
It's fun to meet you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't
I
really
love
know
you.
Tiger. Tiger was the
Mild.
interloper in your little
Mild
gang there.
fangirl. It's okay.
Well, this is the first time I actually roleplayed with Pony and Kitty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as we've all been on the same servers.
Well,
I don't even play on that server. I just host it.
Kiwo, where can people watch you host and play on servers and things in games?
Oh, hello. My name is Kiwion. I go by Kiwo. Kiwo was taken on Twitch by some fuck, and I play a variety of video games, mainly indie games, because I'm pretentious as fuck, and I like to think that I'm cool. And you can find me every day of the week. I stream anywhere between 4 hours and 26. Thank you. I don't know. I'm
Everybody
done.
go and head over and follow Kiwo then. What about you, Pony?
I stream 6 days a week. It's music on Wednesday, but we didn't have it today, so it'll be music tomorrow. If you want to hear it, come out tomorrow. And I play, at the moment, variety, but mostly role-playing games. Wherever you can role-play, that's where I play. So Ark and Daisy and stuff.
Nice. And then last and absolutely least, I'm sorry, awkward kitty.
Wow,
No.
so rude.
Not even
rude.
not even slightly.
I'm just
my favorite
just collateral.
my favorite of the bunch. Awkward Kitty Inc. Where can people find you?
You can find me obviously Awkward Kitty Inc. on Twitch. I am a full-time broadcaster as well. I broadcast 7 days a week.
When you have internet.
And I play when I have internet. Yeah, this 7 days with no internet has been awful. No, I do a lot of role-play games. On Friday nights, we do Friday Night, where you can come scare the piss out of me. Yeah, I like to do lots of voices and stuff. You know, it's a little awkward. It's okay though. We have a good time.
Nice, yeah. So, if you enjoyed tonight, make sure to give everybody here a follow because they are all awesome. They're all very, very good, super partnered RP streamers. Apart from Tiger, who's just a super partnered everything streamer. And yeah, you can follow here, and we'll be playing again this time next week. That's not true. We're going to be playing an hour earlier because apparently we can't tell the time, me and Tiger, and we screw up everything when we're together. So we'll be starting. It was 10 p.m. in terms of UK time this week. It will be 1 hour earlier, whatever that is for you around the world. 9 p.m. I'll be like blowing it up all over Twitter and stuff. I'm sure these guys will as well, just to be sure. But make sure you're here an hour earlier if you want to catch next week. We'll carry on episode 2. We'll see what happens with these guys as they move into the evening of their first day in Luskan. And I'll be doing some random streams as well if you want to follow me for random shit. Tomorrow, me and Tiger do Fractured Worlds on John Sandman's channel, so you can just, I guess, follow one of us and it will be hosted here. And then Saturdays I usually run random one-shots with some like mods and community people and stuff like that. Other than that, we'll be back next week. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for playing. You guys were all awesome. I know that a couple of you were nervous, and it was epic. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Thanks for.
I'm very drunk now.
Thanks for
I'm
playing.
not nervous anymore.
It begins.
It begins. Yeah, I'm gonna drink next week as well. I was too scared this week to drink heavily. I have been having a little bit of vodka in my Dr. Pepper, but don't tell anyone. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye. I'm gonna host Tiger Writer, by the way. So everybody go over to Tiger Writer and say play Ark.
Start your stream.
Play Ark.
Yeah, well, I'll host him, and it will go to his channel, and you can just stay there or find him. So make sure you go and watch some Tiger Writer tonight. It is always 100% good shit. Bye. See you next week. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
I need a wee.